The Dark Realm is a difficult place to live. Plants grow weakly and twisted in the lack of sunlight. Mercenary work and banditry are rife, as it pays more than basic farming or hunting. The realm at large is ruled over from the great city of Guardia, an overpopulated, sinful place ruled over by a baleful king that we haven't seen in years. There is an elven kingdom to the south, ruled by the sequestered shadow elves, a dwarven kingdom lost to the mountains of the west, and a tiefling kingdom among the volcanic rock of the islands in the north. Great patches of our land are poisoned and deserted. There are tribal villages, beasts, goblins, and orc warbands, of course, but we're trapped here. The mists are a mystery. Most who enter them never return. Those that do are changed in such a way that they are unrecognizable or utterly insane. Nothing comes out of the mist, but it surrounds us, calls out, poisons, frightens. Couple that with the almost endless darkness, and the Dark Realm is a very difficult place to live.
Eldarin, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. We can't go back in there.
Then who else, Nathan? The key to everything. It lies further within. I saw something. I think you saw it too. We have to try again.
Look at you. You'll die.
Maybe. But if we just push on, that tower we saw, it must hold answers. Why? Why is there a tower in there, Nathan?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody does. And look, we made it out. Somehow I was able to reduce the effects of the mist. And with your sword, we can keep those creatures at bay. We have to get to the tower, Nathan. We can do it. Together.
Why the fuck did I ever accept your coin? Look, if we're gonna do this, we enter between Jairus and Kull. We go north, keeping the forest to our east. That way, if we get lost, we can just push through to the river and follow it south. I am not getting lost in there again. I don't think I can take it.
This is worth it, Nathan. I know it. I can feel it. We can end this. All of this.
Fix and Fire and Will are just outside of the military encampment, a small structure with a clock tower that is stuck at 5 minutes to 3, when all of a sudden Will looks to his hand. Will gets a sensation of raindrops before his eyes roll up into his head and he falls to the ground. Murlin is currently with the wizard Dawnwalker inside. Fix and Fire right next to where Will is. The two of you see him collapse suddenly in a very similar way to the way that each of you have experienced suddenly collapsing when interacting inside of the mist. What do you do?
Will? Again? Right now? Fire? Come and help me with this, quick.
Again?
Again, we're not even in the mists. How does that even happen?
Will. I'm gonna slap him.
Yeah, he is, he's sort of more than unconscious. It's not the same as somebody might simply pass out and may kind of somewhat come to. You can see that his eyes are rolled up into his head. They're probably not fully closed, like part-lidded. And I think since each of you will have seen one of the others in a similar state, you get the sense that this is another one of those situations. But again, like you said, he is not in the mist, but he certainly isn't waking up.
We should drag him inside before he starts making a scene in the doorway.
Okay. I'll grab up under his armpits and try to...
I grab one arm
Yeah.
and try and pull one arm.
All right, give me athletics checks, because he is heavy. He is covered in armor and bits and bobs that he's collected. A 13 and a 14. I think it's not a pretty sight here, but between the two of you, you're able to kind of heft him up and begin to moving back inside, moving him back towards the doorway. There is a small area with a lit fire and a hearth nearby, with the few drinks and little bits and bobs, maybe some snacks that you had previously, just a few moments ago, being given by the military guys that are here. What are you doing with him in particular? There isn't a bed. There are a set of stools around two small tables.
Drag him to the middle of the table so he's not in the way of any walkways.
Yeah. This isn't awkward. Nobody will think anything weird is happening.
No, we'll just tell him he's been drinking or something.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't hold his drink. I'm sure he'll wake up soon, right? It doesn't usually last that long. You were
I'm gonna
out
grab
for
his
30
chin
minutes
and
that time.
shake his chin back and forth. Well,
I
you're not even in the mist. Come
Does
on.
that not make things worse, maybe?
I don't know. Does it?
Oh, carry on.
Well, I don't like his eyelids are open a little bit. I'm gonna pull him close.
Good idea.
Try to get him to stay close. I don't like that.
What was he even doing out there? He just looked up to the sky and then just collapsed. Was it something we said? What were we even talking about?
I don't know.
There's
Falling?
nothing we can do except wait to wake him up, I suppose.
He's so heavy. Like how?
Well, if he stays unconscious, I'm not taking off all his armor, so he gets lighter. No, don't give me that look. You can do it if you want, but
I was
not.
thinking of a lot of different pranks that we could do, but no? No?
Like what? Well, I am curious, but that would be rather inappropriate, so.
Yeah.
Especially given the circumstances.
Oh. What if we found like a maid outfit?
Do you really think they have those hanging around here?
No, but we could find one.
If you manage to find a maid outfit, then that's probably more impressive than you getting Will into it, so good luck with that.
That's a good point.
How long has it been since Murlin went up?
I don't know.
Speaking of Murlin, you headed up to the top of the clock tower and entered into the room with the other wizard in town, Dawnwalker, the kind of commander of the military, and he did give his spell book to Fix, but he is mumbling and muttering to himself constantly about certain spells that would be very useful for you. He begins to rummage through several books on the shelves in this room. It is a room that curves around in a kind of awkward fashion, but there are lots of different books and tomes. You can see scrolls and pieces of paper all over the place. You will be able to read a few of them, but you can tell that they're all written in different languages. It seems that Dawnwalker probably is quite fluent in most, if not all, of the standard languages of the Dark Realm. You can see books in Dwarven, Elven. You can see scrolls in Sanskrit. You can see a lot of books in Common. He starts to move around the shelves before he turns to you suddenly and says, Do you have a spell book?
I mean, perhaps I do.
Well, we're going to need it.
He reluctantly pulls it out.
What does your
and
spell book
keeps
look
it-
like?
It is tattered. It is messy. There's maybe some spillage on some of the pages. He does not. There is a reason why he wishes not to share his book of spells.
Do you, so you pull it out, but you don't hand it over or anything?
No, I think Murlin holds it very close to his chest.
The, taller elven wizard looks down towards you and says, I wonder, do you write your spells in common or gnomish?
Oh, in Gnomish. Just because I wouldn't want anybody reading my spells.
Right, yes. Well, I've not met too many gnomes in my time. But I am, rusty with my gnomish. Yet you can read Sunscript, yes?
That I can.
And you can write in Sunscript,
Yes.
even at night.
Even at night.
Ah, good. That makes things a little easier. Then we shall have to write in your spellbook in Sunscript, if you don't mind.
Oh, I mean, I suppose I can do that.
You see him kind of moving around through the room. Eventually, he suddenly turns and moves towards what is a relatively decent-looking but single bed. An old-looking thing made out of oak with lots of feathers and hay running underneath what looks like a cotton quilt. He drags a chest out from underneath, pushes it to one side, and then crawls even further under before he drags another chest out and pushes it towards you and says, right, yes, perhaps, do you know how to, no, it doesn't matter. Well, I wonder. He then turns around, grabs a quill and a pot of ink, and thrusts it towards you. The ink you would recognize as it looks like water, but you know that writing in Sunscript is a part magical language. It can be written at any point. It's almost like magic markers. You can write it onto paper, but you won't see anything until direct sunlight is shone onto the page. One of the things with Sunscript is that it is almost like shorthand. You can write a lot very quickly. The going theory is that once upon a time it was designed to for like encrypted messages and encoded messages, secrets, a bit like thieves can among presumably wizards. And he thrusts this ink towards you that you know to be ink, but looks clear, like clear water. Pushing a quill towards you, he says, there you go. Right, now I just have to find my keys for these chests. It's been a very long time since I had to learn these spells. I don't remember.
Perhaps could you use an extra hand?
Well, it would have been what I really should have done is just kept my spellbook on me. But nope, you take that, and I'll look for the keys. He spends a little while looking around the room before eventually he puts his hands on top of one of the shelves of the bookshelves and pulls a ring of keys down. There's got to be about 50 keys on there, and they look all different shapes and sizes, old, different types of metal. He tries 2 or 3 of them that look like they might fit the small lock on the front of this box. Eventually one catches and the box springs open, paper and scrolls pouring out all over the room. He jumps backwards. Yes, I didn't used to be quite as well organized as I am in my older years. He starts to rummage through the pieces of paper, kind of moving very quickly before he pulls one piece of paper up, looks at it, turns it to you, and it's completely blank. He says, there it is.
Oh, I take it, well, you've written everything in Sanskrit.
Yes. Well, you copy that down into your spell book, and I'll.
Right.
Uh,
Murlin takes the scroll.
Yes. Now, without sunlight, it is very difficult to copy Sunscript into your spell book. How do you plan on doing it?
That is, a really good question. I was thinking maybe I could borrow Will.
Will. Yeah?
Yes.
Do you go scurrying out of the room?
If you will, I will just excuse myself for a little bit. This gnome has to use the little boy's room.
Oh, right.
I
yes,
will be
no.
momentarily.
Yes, all the way back down the stairs, and then beyond the room where there were the two chairs, there is a latrine dug into the back of the... Yes, it's a hole. There's a hole that the lads use.
A hole?
Yes. Directly
Okay.
behind the room where we were meeting earlier on.
All right, it'll have to do. I'll be back.
Surprised that you need to use the lavatory.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just didn't expect you would have to relieve yourself.
What, you think gnomes poop out rainbows? That's not what it's like.
Oh, no, not... Well, yes, right. Gnomes. Yes, well, quickly then. We only have
Although
until...
on some occasions we do vomit rainbows. But I'll be back.
Right, yeah.
And Murlin scurries off and
Yes.
slams the door behind him.
You go scurrying down the stairs. Fix and Fire, while you're kind of dealing with Will here, suddenly there is the pitter-patter of small gnomish feet rushing down the stairs when Murlin appears once again. And what do you do?
Are you done already?
No, I'm just getting started. What's with Will?
Well, we can tell Merlin the truth.
Yeah, I don't know what it is though.
You know how in the mists, when we ask questions, the whole collapsing thing, he just did that.
Oh no, I kind of need him.
Oh,
Well, good
I'll
luck.
slap him again.
Absolutely nothing happens. He just now has multiple red marks on his unconscious face.
I almost feel like you've been waiting to do that.
I don't know what you mean. I'll slap him again.
Right. Merlin, what is he teaching you up there? What's he doing? What's he saying?
Well, I'm to copy the scroll, and Murlin just unsheaths the scroll and shows that, there's absolutely nothing written in it. It's in Sunscript. And, well, I need some light, and I know Will can do that really a neat trick.
The wizard can't?
Well, I kind of told him I knew how to read Sunscript even without the light. I wanted to sound impressive and all powerful.
Murlin, you're impressive just the way you are. You don't have to lie.
I understand, Merlin. Doesn't you need natural sunlight for that? I'm not sure if Will's light would suffice.
I mean, I thought it'd be worth a try at the very least, but, well, looks like that cannot do. Oh.
Right.
He does at least look like he's sleeping soundly, though he's definitely gonna wake up feeling that pain.
Yeah.
And no more pain besides, right, Fire?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We can let you know when he wakes up, maybe.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to, oh boy. Let's see. And Murlin goes through his spell book. What do I have that can, Don't worry, he knows I'm well, in the water closet, so I'll be a while.
Has he peed since the incident?
Do you pee anymore?
You know what? I actually don't think I do. I can't remember the last time I went.
He
Oh,
probably
no.
knows that.
He
No, I mean,
Who's that?
how many people have studied the undead? How many people can ask an undead if it's peed? Probably not common knowledge, right?
There.
I mean, he almost did turn me into a worm.
Well, the fun thing is, in your position, you can make up whatever you want. And he'd be forced to believe it, because he's got no other way to deny it.
True, I could say this was my very last trip.
Yeah. Got the last of it out.
Okay, well, good luck.
Yeah, no, I'll eventually have to go. Oh boy, I'll have to come up with something. Murlin then closes his book, not finding anything, and he reluctantly goes back up the stairs.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
The pitter
Thank
patter
you.
of small feet heading back up the stairs leaves Fire and Fix alone. Will is seemingly just in a very deep sleep, kind of splayed out across one of these small tables, or both. Maybe you've dragged both of them together, right? And he is laying there. His sword and shield leaning against one wall, his bag and stuff underneath the table, but he seems to be completely out of it for now. What are you two doing?
He's breathing, right? Like, he's for
Yeah.
sure breathing.
Seems like he's in an extremely deep sleep.
Okay.
I'm flicking through the spellbook.
Oh. What? Well.
Don't say that.
Let me just check. I was going to ask you
attempting to
what
flick through.
languages you speak, but I don't know if you want to share that. But it's up to
Okay.
you if you do.
I can
Otherwise,
share
I can
that.
check your sheet for you. What languages do you speak?
Common, infernal, abyssal, and celestial.
Jesus. The majority of this book is written in a script that you can't read, though you'd probably recognize it as Elven. Every now and then you will see things written in different languages. There is one spell written in Infernal, which seems very similar to the spell that you first saw Murlin use recently on the road when he sent an enormous fireball over to the orcs that exploded and burned one of the three of the orcs and left the leader scorched. You can tell that this is while this isn't written in the way that a spell would be written for D&D with what its description is. The incantations, the sources and the elemental functions that it's drawn from seem to be very fire-based. You also get the sense that this spell was probably taught to this person by a tiefling, based on the way that the colloquial use of language that seems more common to the island that you're from, or continent you're from. There's certainly nothing in here that's written in Abyssal or Celestial. Not that you're even really aware of what Celestial is. If memory serves, when we made your character, you don't know exactly what it is, but you seem to see it in places, and certain elements of Celestial have been appearing throughout the campaign. Abyssal, you don't see any of. And every now and then you'll see small spells that have things to do with smaller spells, and things to do with transmutation for the most part seem to be coming up. The transformation of energies, the transformation of physical properties, and you also see a bunch of stuff about certain resistances that might be written in common, but none of this really makes any sense to you. This would be like reading a book on rocket science for somebody who has absolutely never really studied it. It is the words that make sense in that you understand what the words say, but like what it all means and why it would be written that way, and certain incantations, and some of it would probably just seem like gibberish to you. While you're reading it though, and the longer you spend reading it, the more this strange sound begins to build, like a kind of a wind chime. Not really an uncomfortable sound, but the book itself begins to emanate a certain chiming sound that only you can hear, and a sense of power from the book. This thing is a very neatly kept spell book, very different to what Murlin has. It's a small book, and the writing on the inside, for the most part, is very small, very elegantly written. And it just seems like a very powerful book, but for you, this thing is it almost might as well be in an alien language.
Mm-hmm. And I can't do anything with that fire spell.
Oh no way. You are a product of stolen magic and absolutely not able to learn spells through the same methods as a wizard. Unfortunately, yeah, you'd have to be schooled in this.
What happens if I close the book? Does the sound stop?
Yes.
And does it start again at the same pitch or whatever? The same
Nope.
volume
If you
when I open
close
it
it ends, and if you begin to read and try to concentrate and kind of get the more kind of immersed into the book, or the more you concentrate on the book, the louder these kind of wind chime sounds begin to play.
Interesting.
Anything good?
I wish I could say, but unfortunately I don't think I can read most of this. Just looks like, well, gibberish. Do you want to have a look?
Sure.
Bit of light reading.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it and look at it.
Yeah, almost the exact same experience with you. However, obviously a lot more things are written in Elven, which I presume you can read. Most of the spells in here are to do with altering the states of things, including being able to alter one's self. You can see the ability to utterly and completely transform somebody into something else. For example, a person into a worm, and spells that seem to...
I read that and I just look over at Will, and I look back at the book.
Yeah, I mean it's you're gleaning this. There is no way you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the idea. It's like reading how to make rocket fuel, you know, and you're like, okay, well I kind of get it, but I don't. It's not quite like baking. You can see some spells in there that seem to allow you to harden your skin, to strengthen yourself, and things like that. But again, for the most part, just way above your reading level here. This is all weirdness, but you do get that sense of strength and power. The more you concentrate on the book, the louder these wind chimes become. Again, not uncomfortable, but certainly hear them.
Yep. That's magic. I'll hand it back.
Magic. Meanwhile, upstairs, speaking of magic, you head up back into the room with the wizard Dawnwalker, who has pulled from somewhere a small stick that you recognize to be a very basic looking and simple magic wand, like a twisted twig that at the end splits into 3 small little prongs, almost like a fork. And Dawnwalker says, "Here we go. There you go. Take that."
Oh. Murlin immediately takes it and begins to examine it.
Yeah, roll me a D100. Let's see how
92.
this wand attunes to you when you take it. As soon as you take this thing, you recognize the twig, and almost immediately after touching this thing, there is a small, almost static shock, not painful, but an instant feeling. The wand begins to, for a moment, just begins to turn almost translucent. Before you're realizing that your fingers are closing on the wand, and the thing is actually shifting in and out of the plane that you're on, I suppose, is how you might interpret it. Roll me an Arcana check. 12.
12.
You get the sense that this is a wand that is shifting ethereally. It is able to shift off of the understood material plane. Give me another Arcana check. Let's see what you know about. There we go. You know a decent amount about plane shifting. There is an ethereal plane and a material plane. The ethereal plane is a world just a little beside the world as you understand it. It is not easy to transition into that world, but you can shift into an ethereal plane. A lot of people, or a lot of wizards maybe, are able to use the ethereal plane to move quickly between places. You can slow down time. You can speed up time a little bit around yourself by just allowing yourself to transition only partly into the ethereal plane. Nobody's ever shifted entirely into the ethereal plane, and the same thing is happening here with the wand, and it is shifting in and out of these planes in your hands. You see Dawnwalker standing in front of you looking at you confused and says, "Oh, well, that's interesting. What do you think's going on there?"
Curious reaction. I'm not really one to, I am not quite attuned, usually, with wands.
Yes, that's very strange. For me, it began to exude grease when I touched it the first time.
Oh.
Yes, it's a wand that attunes to you, in a way. It allows us to understand your connections to transmutation. You, I would imagine that means that you are able to, Yes, of course. All right. Well, would you prefer to be able to, speed up time or slow it down?
Slow it down if I could.
Yes, good choice. Very well. Then, we shall need some molasses. Do you have any?
Molasses?
Yes.
No, I don't have molasses.
Right, well, you'll have to go and fetch some.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. I'll go fetch some. Would I be able to find any at this time?
Yes, who would have molasses? You could try the lodge, that's the tavern, relatively large building in the center of town. A lot of the marketplace stays open quite late. If you really wanted, I suppose you could go and see Yinwoad. But that might take a little while. He's an alchemist. Alternatively, ask around town.
All right, I'll do just that, and if not, I will pay a visit to your alchemist friend.
Yes. Yes, quickly then.
Right, I will make haste.
Oh, the wand.
Oh, right, the wand. He gives it back.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
You heading back downstairs?
Yes.
Heading downstairs, there is a significant snoring noise coming from Will. He is in an extremely deep sleep. I think maybe even Fire and Fix, you might be confused as to whether he's even in this state anymore or whether he's just sleeping. But with Fire hitting him every now and then, he doesn't seem to wake up. The small pitter-patter of feet coming back down the spiral and wooden stairs as Murlin returns to you.
I actually have to go out and do a bit of light shopping. Is that Will?
He's not making you do his, chores, is he?
No, not really. I did manage to wiggle out of the whole scroll situation. I still have it. He didn't ask for it back.
Hold
But
on,
yeah, no.
and I'll plug Will's
Right.
nose. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh,
What do you
I
have
have
to
to
do?
I have to do a bit of light shopping.
For him or for you?
Well, it's kind of for me as well. I need to get molasses. He didn't quite express what for. He asked me if I would want a speed time or slow down time, and I said I would prefer to slow things down if I could, and well, then he just asked if I could go fetch some molasses.
I will not pretend to understand any of that.
Yeah, no, magic can be weird.
All right.
I
Well,
don't want to leave Will here, but
no. Well, if you need molasses, then I suggest Fire goes with you. I will
Yeah.
look after Will. But Fire, please do not try for a 5-finger discount again.
I can't believe you would even think that I would. I just can't.
I know
I
you
just
can
walk
believe.
out. Just mumbling.
The two of you head out. Now, Will, for you, the past few minutes have been a very different experience as you see around you a huge thunderstorm. Rain beginning to drop in thick droplets hit you, and as you look up, the town around you, the small military encampment around you vanishes and is replaced by a woodland area. You lose sight of Fire and Fix, and there's a moment where it kind of blends together before you realize that you are experiencing another one of these visions. And you've actually already seen this one before, but it has a little more context to it this time, as you recognize the area or feel as if you are standing in the same spot as this dream that you had previously. You witness, from the perspective of somebody else, this person that you've come to recognize as Nathan Silvertongue speaking to you about how the mist is so dangerous that it's crazy that you would go in there. You can hear the voice of Eldarin from nearby speaking about how he can end this and that they have to check things out, that there is a tower in there. The forest around you is pretty thick. Behind you, you can see a village, a small village. The landscape is identical to that of Jairus, with the small village being nestled in next to a hill that rises up, the hill that you had walked up previously to go up and see the head of the Merchants Guild. But there is no longer a wall around it. There are no buildings up on there. The lodge is no longer there. There are still a few decent-looking houses nearby. You can see a handful of people moving around, most of them scurrying as the skies open up for this thunderstorm that has begun above you. The forest looms very tall over you. The trees feel a little distorted, and as you look up, you can see they're curling over you, almost as if you're in a glass ball or something like that. And as your senses return to you, the image of Nathan, the image of the people, and the image of the village begins to feel very far away from you. And there are 3 doors that are sitting around you in a sort of triangular shape. 1, 2, 3. Just standing with no frame and no building attached to them. One of the doors is a very light-colored, kind of a cream door. One of them is a dark brown, wooden-looking door, and one of them is a black-looking sort of steel door. What do you do?
Everything else is so far away now. It's essentially just me and the doors, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The whole area around you feels very strange, and again, it feels almost as if you are inside of an orb of glass. Maybe the image of the village in the distance, the rain coming down, twisting out of your vision in a strange way. The only things that feel like they're correctly almost in focus around you are these 3 doors: cream, brown, black.
before I pick a door, I'm gonna try and reach out and communicate the same way that we did back when we were in the mist, same way that I've done and so have the others, and try reaching out and saying, "Where are we?"
Okay.
And see if I get any kind of a response here, or if I'm on
Sure.
my own.
Roll me a wisdom save.
One wisdom save. It's a nat 20.
Natural 25. You get the sense that, in fact, you get the full understanding, I would imagine, that what is happening to you now is not necessary. It is almost, in fact, it is the same thing that is happening when you guys connect and are able to almost flip into the mist consciousness. The difference being, the reason that you can do it is that you have such a strong connection with the mist. You are somewhat able to, and have always really been able to do this. You just have more control over it now. The same dreams that you've been having over the past 2 weeks, or maybe 4 weeks for you in character, would be this same thing. The difference this time is that you've experienced one of these dreams and you've almost been able to subconsciously and innately grab out and hold on to it. And what's happening here is you've held on to this dream. It's almost like a lucid dreaming state for you. But you have a command now somewhat over the experiences, these refracted memories, these subconscious visions that you've been having. And you've almost pulled the vision into a pause state, like a stasis. That's essentially what is happening to you here. It is not the same thing, however, as being able to directly connect into that greater consciousness in the mist. You can't do that here. But you do understand that where this ability of yours is coming from is almost the exact same thing.
Enough secrets. I'm gonna walk up to the cream-colored door and push it open.
You push open the door and a memory floods you very quickly. It is of Eldarin and Nathan. They are exploring the mists for the first time. You see terrible flying creatures. At first you would think that they were bats, before the memory becomes maybe a little more vivid for you. Again, you're experiencing this as if you are cohabiting the body of Eldarin. You can see Nathan fighting. He has a sword and shield out, a thin, long-looking sword, quite a regal-looking thing. A very basic looking shield, a small and round buckler. He has simple looking armor, leathers underneath, some basic looking chain. No markings on him that suggest he's military in any way. But again, everything he's wearing looks archaic. It's very old in fashion. It's not the type of thing that you would ever see anybody wearing. And to your eye, it actually looks poorly made. Yet new. The mist seems to be around them, and this memory floods you of the time that Eldarin and Nathan had to fight against these enormous bat-like creatures. When you see them again, you remember that these creatures are extremely fast. They have enormous wingspans, but almost no body. They're just two wings that connect on a central kind of almost worm-like spine. The wings are like blades, and they move really quickly, cutting past both you and Nathan. The two of you run to a small-looking watchtower, one that you recognize or maybe understand to be the one that is between Cull and Jairus. They rush into this tower. The top of the tower is crumbling and broken, but there is enough of a structure there that they are able to hide underneath the first floor of where this tower would have been, there is a doorway that is quite small. As your perspective from Eldarin ducks underneath the doorway, you get the sense that this would have been the type of tower that was maybe built by somebody who was smaller in stature, maybe dwarves. And I give that to you more as will than general knowledge. I think you would understand that. The two of them slide in to this room, and you see now the state that they're both in. There is a sense of exhaustion, but not one that you can feel. But looking down at Eldarin's hands, looking over at Nathan, you can see that they're wounded, they're exhausted, their faces are gaunt, almost as if they haven't eaten for a long time. There's an almost wildness behind Nathan's eyes that might be fear. The two of them begin to scramble and unpack things from their bags, creating a small barricade in front of the door. Your vision begins to fade. The connection to this memory that was so vivid for you in this moment probably played out in real time, but becomes a memory to you as will. How you want to interpret that is up to you, but it would, for one thing, it would feel to you now like a memory. From any point onwards, when you think of this, you would not think of it, I don't think, as experiencing it here in this setting, like you're sharing a body, but as if it was one of your own memories. Secondarily, though, that comes with a very uncomfortable feeling as your mind is split between two sets of memories. What is you as Will? What was Eldarin? What was the original time and scene here that played out? And also the version that you experienced here. While you can remember them both and understand them both, there is I would imagine, a very uncomfortable feeling as your mind feels and understands two memories in one. Roll me a D10. Guess where that's going. You lose 10 sanity points as you
rolled 100 out of 100, then a nat 20, and now a 10 out of 10.
That is true.
Why
Yes.
couldn't this have been in a fight, Brad? I would have.
It was somewhat of a fight. It was these are mental fights that you're having here, as your mind is being pulled in several different directions at once, and I think you experience that as well. The sensation of waking up from a dream as you, this experience and this memory each blend into one, and you then also begin to awaken once again. The sense of the rain, the heavy water droplets, the wounds and exhaustion from Eldarin and Nathan fighting in the mist.
Can I try to hold on to this state that I'm in? Like actively resist waking up?
You cannot. You are awake. This is how it is. You wake up. This wasn't an actual dream, unfortunately. So there's not really a way for you to stay asleep. You are waking up from what is essentially right now a wound. I think, Fix, from your perspective, you see Will suddenly start moving, jolting, maybe even coughing and spluttering as suddenly, Will, you violently kind of wake up. The reason this is so violent is the D10, the 10 on the D10. You wake up from this thing and you are pulled from this strange reverie. And again, your mind feels like it's been split in several different ways. No doubt you have a killer headache as you wake from this suddenly. There is a quick shift from a memory within this dream state, and then suddenly you come to. You're on a table in a room that probably takes you a moment to recognize, but certainly a ceiling that you don't recognize. And and your armor and stuff is on you, but your weapons and shield and that are gone. Fix is here, but the others are not. What do you two do? And how do you react, Fix, when he suddenly wakes up?
I was dozing, I think, so I would have been... Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think Fix would see my right hand go out and grab at nothing, like looking for something that isn't there for a second.
What is it? What do you want? A drink? Do you want a drink? Water?
No. I was reaching for my nightstand where my sword leans.
Right. A fun dream then?
You could say that.
Do you want to elaborate?
Sure. I think I can do that. I don't know what just happened. It reminds me of when we're in the mist and we try to talk to the creatures or the entities or whatever they are.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to us as well.
This was different. This was less me communicating and more opening a door into my own memories.
Okay, and how do you know it was your memory?
Because I remember. If you remember it, it's your memories, isn't it?
I suppose I have no reason to dispute that. What did you remember then?
I'm not trying to be philosophical, I just don't know how else to describe it.
After everything we've seen, I don't know what to believe. What did you see?
Were you about to eat me for dinner?
What do you mean?
I'm lying on a table. Was Murlin hungry? Is that what this was?
No, Murlin said something about your brain being too inaccessible or something, thick skull. Or
Yeah,
something
of
like
course.
that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit up and hang my legs off the side of the table because lying there like a dinner course is awkward.
And if your cheek hurts, it's probably because you were too close to the fire.
Stings a bit.
Yeah. It does.
No, I had a memory. The tower, the watchtower northeast of here, in the mist. I went there. We went there.
Who?
Eldarin and Nathan went there.
Right.
And when we got there, sorry, something's wrong with my head.
We can leave it a few moments if you'd prefer.
No, I feel I best summarize it while it's still fresh in my mind, because you know how dreams and fleeting memories are.
Yeah.
If I go to sleep, I may not recall any of it the next day. We went to the tower, the watchtower, and took shelter there from some sort of winged predators.
What did they look like?
Angry bats with sharp wings, for lack of a better way of putting it.
You called them knife wings.
Knife wings.
Knife wings.
And they were attacking you?
Yeah.
In the mist?
This
Okay.
same way half of everything in the mist tried to kill us. Eldarin went to that watchtower and he went there with Nathan. What became of them? Well, we know what became of them. They must have pressed on further, made it all the way to that other place we went, up to the graveyard, but it must have been a bitter journey, I'll say that much. They were not in good shape. Bloodied up, already running for their lives. By the time they got to the watchtower, that's right here on the border. And then they must have had to press on further.
You say this was your memory? Do you remember how you were feeling? Were you terrified or excited to see the tower or what?
Do I know Brad?
I think it would be a similar feeling as to whenever during this campaign Will begun to realize that he was connected to something in this. I think maybe recently when you were in the mist and you learned that you were very directly connected to something in the mist and that you were possibly being reborn in some way. I think this for Eldarin was almost the exact same moment. When they found the tower, they would have had the same reaction. This is the first time they saw a structure inside the mist. The same as the first time you guys saw a structure within the mist. And not long after this, they actually managed to make their way out and struggle to make it back to the village of Jairus, which is when the memory you had of the two of them standing there and bickering about whether to go back in happened. And in fact, they did go back in.
Would I accurately recall this timeline? That they went in, they got beat up, they left, and then they discussed whether to go back in again?
Yep. And it was Eldarin that pushed that they should, because like you, in some way, perhaps they had interacted with the consciousness of the mist. Eldarin had an understanding that in some way he is connected and could potentially figure out a way to stop this, or at least learn more.
Right. Then, in response to the question of how he felt, he was filled with a sense of foreboding, I suppose, and less curiosity, but more of a need to know the truth and a determination to continue.
Right.
As I have been.
Right, and what happened when you got inside?
We turned around and came back. It was
But-
suicide to continue.
In-
I think the initial shock, the first exposure to the mist, was just too much. That time.
Right. So they got all the way through to the
Nathan.
tower and then came all the way back.
No, just to this close watchtower.
Yeah, the watchtower.
Yes. We made it that far,
Right.
and then couldn't go any further. We were injured, being driven mad by the mists. I don't know if
Interesting.
Eldarin was able to push back the effect of the mist as I can now. I think maybe I hadn't figured it out yet back then. Which might
Right.
explain why things were so horrific for them.
But you felt
Just-
in your own mind, right? You felt, no nasty headaches or anything like that.
That's a really hard one to answer.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
But then we regrouped and we went back. And the second time, we steeled our minds and we pushed all the way in.
Right.
And made it to where we found myself. We found Nathan and Eldarin.
Yeah, we could just keep it to Eldarin if you prefer. It makes things a bit easier, I suppose. Then.
I wish
Same
it were as simple as that. Vix, have you ever looked at a mirror and seen two different people? It's a very disorienting feeling. Sorry, I'll try to keep the names straight.
No, it's not for me. It's for you, really.
Right. Where are the others? Is Murlin still upstairs, learning new magic tricks?
Well, I mean, I was mistrusting of the wizard upstairs, but it seems he is keeping to his word. He's, he sent Murlin out for some molasses. So I told Fire to go with him.
Molasses.
Well, Murlin does not need to be alone right now. Yeah, I was wondering the same. Something about slowing down time.
Speaking
I
of
know.
which, Fire and Murlin, what is the plan of attack here for finding Molasses?
Well, I think we'll be going to the tavern first.
Okay. So, leading the way from the south of this town, you guys, again, have a decent lay of the land here because you saw a high perspective view of the town. There is a pretty large looking structure in the center of town that can only be a tavern, so lit up and so loud. As you get closer and closer to it, you very quickly identify the tavern. And as the two of you approach, the place seems to be in full swing. It's kind of located at a pretty big crossroads. While there isn't any real dedicated, huge, like perfectly paved roads or anything, there are streets and winding alleyways for the most part. At the center of what is an open area that maybe is where a market is, or an outside meeting area across at a pretty huge junction, you can see a very large 2-story building. It has a big shingled roof, and there is 2 sets of chimneys with thick black plumes of smoke coming out. All of the windows and doors are lit up, and you can quite clearly tell that this is a tavern. Written in common or chiseled into the door frame is the lodge. As you step inside, it's a pretty big place. There are 2 sets of huge stairs at either end of the open plan floor here, and other than that, there is just tables and chairs and people, for the most part, sat in a very large open plan room. At the center of the room, you can see, or at the back center of the room, there is a bar, and behind that, a kitchen with, you can see 2 chefs working on cooking food. The smell of mutton and fish, and in front of that, you can see 2 or 3 people serving drinks to a variety of different people. Not too dissimilar to Cull in their looks, working folk for the most part. A couple of people in here you recognize to be wearing the same watch outfits, the black, blue, and grey that the huge Goliath had on. And the 3 people serving drinks are what look like very tall halflings at first, before you realize they must be on something behind the bar, allowing them to step up high enough. What do you do?
Well, I would pull on Fire's cloak, and with my eyes, I would direct them towards the bar.
Okay. I'll head that way. I'll put my hand out behind me so Murlin can grab my hand.
He grabs her hand.
There are 3 halflings serving at the bar. A relatively old-looking halfling, grey hair, thinning at the sides. A slightly younger-looking halfling woman. Maybe the 2 of them look in their 60s, is what it would look like to us, but is probably several years older. And a much younger-looking halfling serving drinks. Which one would you head towards?
I guess it wouldn't really matter to Murlin. I guess Murlin would just start making noise, and in hopes that any one of them would catch our attention, and
Yeah.
Murlin would come close and would maybe start patting on the bar. Hello, can we have some assistance?
The oldest of the halflings is the first to notice you, I think, and begins to move over towards the side of the bar that you are. Fire, from your perspective, being a little taller, you can see that the bar has a full wooden step but on the other side of it, allowing the halflings to get up and onto the bar area. Merlin, you come up to the your eyes are peeking over the top of the bar on this side. The halfling moves over towards you and looks down at you. He's wearing kind of a plaid checkered looking thing, got a tankard in one hand and a greasy looking rag as he cleans it, and looks over and says, "Hello there."
Hi. First off, great place, great smells. All the Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yes. I don't think we've got Brussels sprouts on. Have we got Brussels sprouts? No Brussels sprouts, no. No, you're not quite got the refined palate that I would expect from a gnome.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway.
Usually we come to you for us with the right tastes and smells and... Yes,
do you?
Oh, yes. You're travelers then, are you? He kind of glances over towards you, Fire, but turns back to Merlin. There is a slight shift in his eyes.
We're not from around here. I would like to know if you happen to have molasses.
Molasses? We got any molasses? What's molasses? I don't know. What is molasses?
What is molasses?
Molasses is that sticky stuff.
Sticky stuff. Well, I wouldn't
More
go asking
specific?
anybody for sticky stuff. That could be very dangerous in this bar.
Can you be a little more detailed?
It's like sweet,
Well, that narrows it down a little.
syrupy.
Sweet syrup. Sweet syrup. We got
It
sweet
goes-
syrup.
It goes
Sweet
well
syrup,
with
yeah.
potatoes.
Sweet syrup that goes well with potatoes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes? Yes, we have that.
You do? Okay, I will take a jar full
Full jar.
Of
Very well. Yes.
molasses.
Oh, right. Okay. Can you get us a jar of that? Jar of honey coming out. All right. There we go. Oh, that one. Yes. All right. How much does this go for? Give it to him for a silver.
Honey,
Silver. There you go. Jar of honey. Molasses.
No,
Jar of molasses.
molasses and honey are two different things,
You
my
sure?
friend.
You described
Yes.
honey to me just then.
Well, I mean, molasses is kind of similar to. I mean.
Would you like the honey as well?
No.
Do we have molasses? It's different to honey, but similar. No. No? Are you sure? No. Okay. Right. Any more definition to what the molasses is?
Oh no.
Color, smell, viscosity.
It's like a
Texture?
dark looking syrup.
Dark syrup. This isn't dark enough. You got any dark honey? Real dark honey. Well, that's molasses. If you have dark, sticky dark.
It's like
Sweet.
a dark brown, almost black.
Dark brown, almost black honey. Not honey. It's called molasses. No. You sure? No. Right. Do you want to go and have a look for yourself?
You know, I will. I
Yeah.
will.
All right. Very well. And no sticky fingers.
No sticky fingers.
All right. Yes. Just head all the way around the bar, and then underneath there, you'll see that you can fit. You should be just fine. Got a little
Right.
halfling entrance, like a dog flap.
Oh, don't mind if I just crawl on in.
Yeah. It actually keeps all the tall folk out. Very useful.
Murlin makes his way behind the bar and into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Give me an investigation check, Merlin.
Oh no.
Yell if you need me.
You want a drink?
Sure.
We've got cider and vodka.
14.
Cider.
Very well. One cider coming up. Slides you a cider across. And
Thank you.
on a 14, for a little while, Merlin, you begin to rummage around in the varying cupboards and pantries that are behind here. How much stuff do you steal and eat on the way around this trip around the kitchen?
Oh no.
I would not ask this if it was anyone else, but I'm curious. Because you're opening stuff and there's like pears, there's some rice in this one, there's some nice sharp cheese in that one. This one's got a bottle of something. What does it look like as you begin to rummage through a pretty well-stocked kitchen?
Oh man. Well, if Murlin were
Completely
still
unattended.
alive, if Murlin were still alive, my God, these poor folks wouldn't have a crumb left. But Murlin would probably sample, probably dipping his sticky fingers in everything, sampling. Why can't I taste this anymore? It's just not the same. Why? Oh, that does look good too, though. Yeah, no, why do I have to be dead? Is that molasses there?
That's mutton. Fresh
oh,
mutton.
That's mutton. He takes a sample of that mutton.
Yeah, the mutton you can eat. Let's see if I roll above. If I roll below a 14, you find molasses. 18. There is no molasses here. You search high and low. No molasses in the kitchen. You do find honey. You find a jar of something that's dark and sticky, but isn't molasses, and I don't think you're sure what it is.
No, I don't think I want to know what that is.
Leave that in the back of a cupboard.
I'm gonna leave that back. And I scooch it further back in the cabinet. No. And Murlin then would retreat and come back. I couldn't find any molasses.
Okay, well, this was a massive failure, so...
Well, it is still not entirely all for naught. The wizard did mention he had an alchemist friend by the name of Yinwode.
Alchemy? What? We should have gone there first.
I mean, well, molasses I would have thought to come here first.
Okay. Well, you ready to go see the... What is it?
That's the alchemist.
Yin
Yin-toad or something like that.
Yinwode?
Yinwode, Yin-toad. He'll introduce himself when
Yinwode Toad.
Yinwode Toad. Let's go meet
Got it.
Yinwode Toad.
And the two of them head out of the tavern, and that's where we're going to go to a break for the evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I faded you out then, you can speak now. As the two of them head around town, Will nurses a terrible headache, and Fix guards a stolen wizard's book. It's not really stolen, but we will return in a few minutes. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, and BRB. Back in Jairus, we return to Will and Fix at the small sort of military encampment in the room that you have been given, while you wait for Murlin to complete his jobs and learn his spells and things and stuff. What are you two doing?
I think after a minute or two of waiting for my psychic hangover to wear off, once I'm back to my senses, I'll just look up and say, all right, I think I'm good to go.
You want to go? It's so warm and cozy in here. Actually, yeah, we should go. Keeping me off my guard.
Oh well, I do agree. It's tempting to just stay here, but I don't want to waste time, and I'd like to find an armorer to get this adjusted to where I can use it before we leave town.
Right. We should probably find Murlin some food as well. It's been a while since he ate. Don't want to risk it.
Wonder how frequently he needs to eat. Have we measured that out yet?
Well, no. I imagine it's the same as all of us, right?
I wouldn't
I will keep
presume...
a note from now on.
Yeah, I wouldn't presume to make any assumptions about how a dead man's stomach works.
When was the last time we saw Murlin eat?
Let's think about this. It is around 9 p.m. Right now. You got to town a couple of hours ago. I believe, didn't he eat on the way up?
When we were on the way over on the wagon, like I was on the same wagon with him, how often did I see him, or like how many times did we have to stop and find him food on the way here?
Good point. Let's see. What are the rules, first of all? Remind myself what your undead rules are. Where are they on this page? We know out of character that you must maintain a diet of living or freshly dead flesh. It's within 1 minute of death, but it is not the case. It is within 1 day of death in equal portion to the amount of food a living member of your original species will require. Your muscles require the same amount of rest that your original race would in order to stave off exhaustion. So a day, basically. He has to eat once a day.
Okay, so...
And he would have eaten this on the travel over this morning or this afternoon. I think he's okay for now. You have until maybe lunchtime tomorrow.
Right. Well, he's been eating about once a day so far, which I suppose is normal. Actually, for Murlin, I think that means he's eating less.
Less, right? Yeah, I was thinking the same
He
thing.
was eating about 84 times a day when we first met.
Well, I'm not going to call it a blessing by any means, but
We can call it a silver lining. How about
a
that?
silver lining. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go get your armor looked at, I suppose.
Agreed. Yeah, tag along then. Let's go do that.
Will and Murlin, roll me a d20. If you're within the same 10 of each other, 1 to 10, you'll run into each other. You're not? Okay, good. You stay split. The two of you head outside. There is one of those moments where you guys head down an alleyway and then Fire and Murlin walk past where you headed down, but I guess our camera follows the two of you. I don't know if you would know where the blacksmith is, because it isn't a very obvious building. So, what is the plan here to go about finding the blacksmith?
Literally just grab the first random citizen that we pass and ask him if there's a smith or an armorer or any in town.
He's terrified, but he points you to a really small alleyway, a really thin-looking thing. There's a moment where you might consider whether you can actually fit down there in all of your armor with all your shields and stuff, but it says, yeah, you just go straight through there. On the other side, there's a big fuck-off chimney, like really big. Can't miss it. Although I don't know if she'd be awake at this time.
Right, thank you.
Worth a shot.
How late is it?
It's about 9 p.m.
Can I see this giant chimney?
From where you are, no, but you do see a plume of smoke.
Okay.
You have the coin purse still, right?
I do, yes.
Okay, good.
Though I don't know how much is in it.
Well, we didn't give any away, did we? You didn't give any away, did you?
No.
Right. Well, it's about 160 gold in there.
Oh my.
Yeah, hence
when
why I
did
didn't want to be carrying it.
When did we get all that?
Well, a bit from Arias. There was that gentleman down in Som's Point that Fire did a very good job of convincing to part with his life savings.
Did Fire mug somebody in Som's Point?
Well, it was a very polite mugging as they go. With words rather than knives this time. He parted with it very willingly. I'd say we did him a service, really. Anyway, regardless, we'd have a bit of money, so...
Just promise me that Fire's not robbing people in broad daylight and you're not complicit in it. I would feel a slight
Do you really
pinch of
think
guilt.
I would let that happen?
No, I don't.
Right, thank you. But if she manages to convince a fool to part with his money, then I'm not going to say no.
Then again, you actually thought I wanted to set up an ambush on the road for a caravan on the way here, so I don't know where exactly our opinions of each other really lie.
Well, on the whole,
Why-
it's sort of tipping towards the positive. It's just... You know, you never know, desperate times.
I am flattered. I am also hesitant because I don't think I can fit down this alleyway. Surely this can't be the actual walkway. Brad, is there a way around, or is this like the only convenient path through this
It
building or
is the
structure?
most obvious route.
Who constructed this? Okay. What,
It's very
after
heavy.
you?
If you want, I can go down first and check it out. And let you know if it's worth coming down. And you could have
Sure,
left
I mean,
that shield back at the lodging. Did you really
True.
need the bag with you as well? Is that necessary? Are we going to be trapping someone, or...?
Think of it this way. We know that Arias can locate where we are. Speaking of which, did you tell Murlin to get rid of that blasted staff yet? That's what we were discussing before I passed out.
Right.
We know that he can track us, and we know that he can teleport. He could be on us at any moment. I'm really not planning on going anywhere unarmed.
All right, point well made.
I mean,
Right,
last
well,
time we
I'll
were
go
in
down
town-
first.
Last time we were in town, a flying octopus attacked us, if I recall.
Octopus.
The Grell thing.
Right, yeah. Well, that was in Cull, and I'm not generally speaking superstitious, but that does keep happening specifically in Cull. So, I don't know what that says. I am going to go down this alleyway, and I will let you know if it's a good idea for you to squeeze through. And then I'm just going to head down the alley.
Yes,
I'm gonna follow
squeeze-
immediately. I'm not really gonna wait. I'm just gonna let Fix go first in case there's something awkward at the end of it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a look,
And
just
then-
like...
Fix fits down the alleyway. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, and then a few seconds later, there's the sound of scraping metal as Will's shield and scabbarded sword are dragged along the walls behind you. You can actually fit down it, but it's horribly uncomfortable, maybe a tad embarrassing as you squeeze sideways down this alleyway. It would be fine if you didn't have all the armor on and bits and bobs, but I think, the two of you begin to squeeze down this alleyway. At the other end, you come out, Fix, and you see ahead of you, there are three buildings that are quite similar in stature. They're almost like cottages. One of them is quite clearly has been adjusted in a way to fit possibly a forge. There's very obvious looking metalworking things outside. You can see bits of iron and steel. The door is closed, but the lights are on, and you can see that it does have like a huge, maybe reinforced chimney at the top of this single floor cottage. Brick-looking thing with the grey slate roof, and just a huge amount of smoke coming out from behind it. From the inside, you can hear the kind of sounds of metalwork, suggesting that somebody in there is indeed working on smithing of some kind.
I think we're in luck. Luckily for you.
What kind of architect designed these buildings so close together? I'm angrily pushing my way out of the tunnel.
Knock on the door.
This is a travesty.
There is a moment, but you do hear the sound of metalwork stopping. There is about 30 seconds or so pass before you hear someone say, "Who is it?"
Hi there.
Customers.
Right, customers.
Don't they believe that I have any customers tonight?
Well, you do now. Maybe.
Hold on a moment. You hear the sound of what must be about 10 different locks and chains opening on the other side of the door before you hear the handle pulled down, and the door slowly opens to reveal an absolutely enormous and muscular woman who must be about 80 years old. She is probably around 6 foot, but she does have enormous shoulders, enormous arms. She's wearing the standard kind of tunic and clothing, with trousers and thick boots, and over it she's wearing a set of thick-looking overalls that are covered in scorch marks. She has a very small set of spectacles on her face and blue-washed curly hair in a fashion that is extremely archaic-looking to the two of you with your young, fashionable looks. This very, very old-looking woman standing in front of you. In one hand is a huge set of tongs, and inside the tongs you can see a rod of orange glowing steel. And as she opens the door, she leans down a little bit and says, "Oh, hello there."
Well, sorry to bother you. We're not in town long. We've got, well, quite the pressing time issues, and we were looking to get some armor adjusted, if possible.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm really rather busy. I'm quite fully booked. How long have you got?
How badly do you want it?
We are not going to be in town long if we can help it. Ideally, we'd leave again tomorrow. So if it would help sweeten the deal, I'll happily pay extra to have you prioritize this project and get it done. Luckily, it will be fairly quick. It's just a measure of, and I'll hold it up and say, it's already been forged. Just needs to be shrunk down a bit. Its previous owner was quite tall.
Oh, yes. Come in then. That smells terrible. Come on in. Yeah, it smells absolutely awful.
Is that what that smell was this whole time? Jeez.
She invites you in. The front of the house here, the cottage, does actually look like a cottage you might expect somebody to live in. You can see a small table and kitchenette area on one side. On the other side, you can see a door that's closed that must lead into a second room. But there's a hallway that leads down and opens up to an enormous looking forge with a low ceiling. She has to duck down a little to get into it. The metal works that are happening in here are plenty. That she seems to have several things on the go. There are multiple pieces of metal that are being dealt with. On the anvil at the center of the room, she places the tongs with the hot-looking piece of iron that must be being turned at some point and hammered into a sword. She points towards a relatively large-looking, battered-looking oak table and says, "Oh, place it on here, then I'll take a look."
Sure, I'll do exactly that. Spread out the pieces.
She takes a look at the armor for a few moments before looks back at you, looks at Fix, looks over the armor again, turns it over, looks back at you, looks at Fix, turns it over again, and says, "You took this from an orc."
I did.
Tell me, did you steal it from the orc, or did you take it from his body?
I traded it for his life. After he attempted to take mine.
Interesting. Well, this is from the Wolf Clan.
So it is. They gave me this to go with it. And I'll hold up the little wolf talisman thing he handed me.
Not very many ways that people can acquire one of those.
I wouldn't know.
Very well. Let's see then, if you want me to fit this to you, it's going to take a little while, but we can have it done by the morning if you have the coin.
Absolutely, yes. How much are we talking here for an adjustment?
Adjustment to fit a man of your stature. Would you like it cleaned?
I'll just kind of look at Fix apologetically for a split second. Yes, should probably have it cleaned.
Yeah.
Smell is foul.
Can be done. Besides that, I'm afraid we're going to have to adjust quite a few links here, and much of it is broken and scratched. I think I could replace those as well if you'd like, but it might take a little longer. I only really have to trim this down to fit him. Quite well, very well. Yes, if you don't mind the coin first, that'll be quite expensive though.
How much
are we talking?
Well, 5 gold pieces.
Oh, in that case, maybe, I don't know, add some freshener to it. Some, I don't know, wax it, sparkle, shine it.
Wax,
Polish it.
not ideal really to use, but I can, of course I'll give it a treatment if you like.
Absolutely, yes. And
The medallion. Would you mind if I take a look?
which one?
She's
I'll hold the
pointing at the
I'll hold
wolf
the wolf.
one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just hand it to her.
These
Does
are-
this have some significance to you? You recognize the armor's handiwork off of an orc? Did you know its previous owner?
No. I'm sure they would have eaten me alive. No, it's just these are a very famous group, clan, and I wonder if perhaps. How interested would you be if this had experimental properties to it?
The talisman or the armor?
The armor.
I do rely on it to keep me from dying, so what kind of experimental properties are we talking about here?
I think we shall have to find out. I'm not
You have me
fluent.
worried, but also intrigued.
She holds up the
Alright.
medallion and says, "We shall need to melt this down. I'm not fluent in how orcish magics work, but we can imbue it."
Do it. Why not?
The worst
You'll
that
have
can
your old
happen is
armor.
it weakens the metal, and it turns to wood, rusts, explodes, kills us all. I'm joking.
You fix a WTF look. I'm going to be wearing it in battle. Of course, I'm somewhat concerned.
I'm sure it'll be fine. She's a very trustworthy looking woman. Lots of experience.
What did you have in mind?
Well,
What kind of experiment do you want to try?
I can use the magic within this medallion, and it's an old one, to imbue the armor with additional properties. Most of the time, they're beneficial.
Most of it. And what percentage of the time are they not beneficial?
I'm afraid I have no idea how to calculate percentages.
You know,
Okay.
I think you already said it best. I still have my old armor. Do it. Yeah. I'll try an
Well,
there
experiment,
you go.
see how it goes.
This is going to
Worst
take
case
several
scenario, I'll just
hours.
change back into this.
As long as you are still around in the morning, well, perhaps as early as tomorrow afternoon, maybe I'm going to have to. Well, take off all of your clothes then.
Sure, I will just immediately start complying like this is a routine.
And she begins to take some measurements. We shall flip to the other side of town. How are you two, Fix and Fire and Murlin, going about looking for the alchemist?
I will probably do as Will did and pull aside just a random stranger. Where can I find the alchemist?
Hello there, little boy! And then
Okay.
this very drunken-looking man, missing all of his top row of teeth, puts a hand on your face and scruffles your forehead, pushing your hat back a little bit.
Aw.
No
I hate
touching.
it when they- I hate
Yeah,
when they
sorry, is that
talk
your
to me
boy,
like
is
I'm-
it? Oh, well, no, I can't
This is
be
a
your
grown
boy.
man
That's a grown
who
man.
could blow you to
yes.
smithereens.
Grown man. Very
Do you
strong,
not
aren't
see
you?
this magnificent beard I possess?
You're very cold.
Eats brains, by the way.
His brains. Oh,
Watch your tongue.
Spooky. Hey, he's dressed up like a wizard.
He is a wizard.
Yes, he's a very good, very strong wizard, aren't you?
Where can
Do you
we
know,
find the alchemist?
Alchemist.
Yeah, the alchemist.
Alchemist, what's that then?
Okay. Ribbit.
You want a frog?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, well, you live down by the lake. I wouldn't go down there at this time of night, though. You get caught by the tribes people, they'll eat you.
He goes by the name Yinwode.
Yinwode? Yo, you mean Yinwode?
Yinwode? Oh,
Yeah,
do
I
you
don't
know
You wouldn't
him?
be wandering over. I wouldn't be taking children over to see Yinwode. Says to you, Fire.
Okay. Yeah, just if I wanted to, because it's my business, where would I find them?
Oh, really easy to find. Is that one chimney that's popping out all that green smoke there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's him. Although you want to be careful, though. He's one of them core tribe.
Okay.
Thanks. You enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, I reckon them core tribe are right nuts. I heard one time Yinwode grabbed a man and pulled all his fingernails off for an experiment.
Oh, I've done that before.
Excuse me. I think I'm
To
gonna
a
chuck
drunkard
up.
in the street.
He wanders off into an
Oh,
alleyway.
no.
Mm-hmm. Why would you pick him?
I don't know. He was the closest person.
Dangerous. That's the type of thing, if I wasn't here. Danger.
Danger. No,
Avoid that.
Right. It's a good thing you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's my job, but let's not make it more difficult.
No, I won't. I won't do that again. I don't know what came over me, but it did sound like he pointed towards the green smoke coming from that chimney there.
Yinwode.
Yinwode.
We were way off.
Yeah. No.
And the two of you head towards the sort of pretty much the furthest west point in town before you hit the western wall. There is a very small-looking building that actually looks more of a new build than some of the others here, but it is a wooden building, not too dissimilar to the one that was the lodge at the top of town. This one, however, is much smaller with a shingled roof, and then there is a chimney that's sending out this dark green smoke into the air. Every now and then, as you begin to approach it, there are tiny little sparkles that at first maybe look like fireflies of very bright green embers that move up within the smoke. There is no traditional doorway. Instead, there is a set of beads hanging down from a low entrance. The entrance is maybe about 4 foot tall, so very easy for you to walk. Probably comfortable for you to walk into, Murlin. But for you, Fire, you would have to lean down. Are you heading on in?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You step in, and inside you can see a stone floor, covered in rugs and towels. At the center of the room, there are 3 huge iron pots surrounded by smaller stoves and lots of green smoke lifting up from within here and heading out through that chimney above you. There is lots of tables and countertops of different sizes, as if they've been grabbed and placed at random around the outside of the room. You can see vials and pots and glass jars, some of them filled with liquid, some of them empty, some of them filled with things. One of them seems to have a set of 2 eyes that are following you as you wander into the room. It's quite hard to tell what's for sale and what might be ingredients. There's also several items that are just lying around. Swords and helms. There are figurines. There are clothing pieces. Fire, roll me 2 D100s. $98 and a 27. Lots of D100s in this town, isn't there? Thank you, internet. And that was a 98 and a 27. You can see sets of arrows all over here. Fire. One set you recognize to be a set of arrows that are magical in nature. The runes on them are in Elven, and they belong to the magic of the Irish tree. This is the same type of craft and enchantment on the arrowheads here that you would recognize at home from any of your own enchanters. These are arrows of these are pulling arrows. They can pull weight, usually up to about 300 pounds of weight, that is tied to the arrow. People in the tree use these a lot to lift things up and down and get up and down the tree very quickly. There is another set of arrows next to it that you recognize as being magically imbued, but the writing on it seems to be in a strange-looking script that you don't understand. As you step in, you see a human man in here, a quite big-looking guy wearing a big fur coat and working on lots of pots. With his back to you. He has long hair that's kind of greasy and matted together. In places kind of dreadlocked on purpose, and in places just seems to be kind of dirty and matted up. You can see these huge arms that are working on some of these pots and moving vials around. He turns, looks at the two of you, and begins to stir one of the pots in the center of the room, and then turns back away from you. As he does turn to you, you can see that he is a large-looking kind of tribesman, somebody that you might recognize as being part of the barbaric tribes in the area. I don't think you guys are very experienced with the area, so I won't give you much info on it, but he has lots of tattoos and scarification over his face, lots of piercings, and through his nose he has three bones that are pushing up on his nose, giving it an almost pushed up pig-like effect. If you had to guess, this man is maybe in his 40s, but it's quite hard to tell. He does not acknowledge you at all, just continues about his work as the two of you step into this quote-unquote shop of his, the enchanter and alchemist Yinwode.
Ribbit.
Murlin clears his throat rather loudly so that he would maybe perhaps catch his attention. Yinwode? Yinwode?
With his back to you, Yinwode continues messing with some jars at the back. You hear the sound of a small creature chittering. It runs up one of his arms and sits on his shoulder, and it's a strange-looking lizard. It almost has a little beak, and the beak is clicking at you. Yinwode picks the lizard up, puts it back on the table, and it moves around, and then running up one of the walls, sits on one of the walls and turns its head to you again. The chittering stopped. Yinwode says, "Knock, Muro."
Sorry, we would have knocked, but there was no door.
You are funny.
The huge figure turns to you once again. He moves to the center pots and then clicks his fingers at you, Murlin.
You stir this for me, please.
Oh, okay. Do you have a stool? I'm not exactly, well.
Kicks a stool across the room to you.
Oh, thanks. That'll do just fine.
Stir slowly.
Slow? Okay. Clockwise counter.
He does not respond to you. He turns back to his jars. You hear him moving around.
Okay, I am just gonna, I'm gonna go clockwise.
Alright. Roll me a dexterity check. Begins slowly moving around. As far as anyone can tell, he's doing a good job. moving the stick around the pot. It's a big stick, this thing. It's like a broomstick for you, moving around in this enormous pot that you could easily fit in. Yinwode turns and looks at you and says, you ruined!
I ruined it. I mean, well, I did try and ask which way to start.
This work ruin. Okay. You, elf. You come for cloak. I find for you somewhere. Here.
He begins moving lots of pieces of cloth around. You see him lift a rug. Underneath it, he pulls out what looks like a cloak and says,
You're late.
How much was it again? Oh, I already paid. That's right.
Nah.
Give me a deception
Also,
check. As he hands it, he says,
You're not sane. Where your sister?
I can. They sent me. I could bring it.
give me a deception check.
Please.
He throws it at you.
Okay.
That is a cloak of protection. You gain a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws while you wear this cloak. He turns away from you and starts grabbing things. You see him grabbing all of these different little pots. He grabs about 6 in his significantly large hands, and he takes 2 of them and hands them to you, Murlin.
You fix mistake now.
Oh, fix mistake. Okay, I will fix the mistake. Sorry, I was just, I was scared I would fall in. How much of this do I pour, and how much of this do I not?
This is yours.
Oh,
Why
these
you
are
tell me? I work on this for hours for you, only for you to come in and ruin. You fix your own mistake.
Okay. Sorry.
Askarun.
I wasn't entirely sure I was here for this as well as
You drink.
Molasses.
You tell me it's good or bad.
Oh, okay. Sure. Murlin, he adds in the extra potions in the cauldron, and with his minor illusion spell, he casts a spoon and will act like he's taking a sip.
Yinwode is staring at you, but doesn't seem to see through the spell.
Well, it's good.
It's good.
You sure?
It's great. Yes, I feel refreshed
You
and
tell me
refined.
not to stir this quick, and then you come in and stir quick.
It's kind of messed up.
I think
What is
that's
it?
what did the trick.
What is it again in there? What is that?
It's tomatoes.
Can I try? Tomato soup.
Oh, it was tomato soup.
Do you have a sandwich I could... it's fine. Do you have molasses by chance?
Molasses. Eyesight going. Need some myself. This
Yeah.
word, molasses.
Yeah. Aside from that, do you have any thick syrup?
He pulls a jar of honey out.
This will
No.
not taste good in the...
No, it's what we're looking for is like that, but darker.
Darker is this.
He pulls out a jar of what looks like very black-looking ichor.
That could be it. Murlin reaches for it. Can I have a closer look at it? He then takes it and has a look upon closer inspection.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
$24.
It's literally just ink, writing ink.
No, this is not what we're looking for.
Now you find self and busy.
Okay.
Always with the yappa.
Do we just take it if we find it then, or?
I will take that as a yes. All right, I'm gonna go rummage through his things, and Murlin just kind of ruffles up his coat and pulls up his sleeves.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check. Are you looking as well, Fire?
I want to know if that lizard is watching us.
Absolutely. It's all it's
Okay.
doing is watching you.
Yeah.
12.
Then yes, I will help with this mission and not do anything else.
Okay. You tell me if you do. Roll me
Nope,
an
I
investigation.
don't.
On an 8 and a 12 from Murlin. Merlin, you do find molasses after looking around this room. There's all sorts of cool things in here, though. While you're searching around, you find tons of little knickknacks and trinkets and things. Some of them magical, some of them just cool, some of them extremely well crafted. You find lots of potions. You find lots of half-made potions. There are also little bits and bobs like weapons, herbs, stuff like that. In amongst it, eventually you find a vial with a stopper in the top. On the side of the vial is a little piece of paper on a tag, and written in common is molasses, and inside you confirm that is indeed a significant vial of molasses.
I think Murlin would then let out a aha, and he's holding up the jar of molasses. I found it.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, what about these? These, right, too? And I want to pick up the mystery arrows.
Why you want this?
To shoot from my bow?
It's strange for you to want these arrows, no?
Maybe I'm confused. What do they do again?
These are goblin arrows.
They kill goblins?
He moves around the room to you. He's literally kicking things aside that are almost certainly extremely valuable magical items and things. And he lifts them up and says,
Little shit. Sell me these. Say arrow of never misses. Here, you fire arrow.
At what?
Something, but not aim at it. It never miss.
Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I pick something that I saw that didn't look too valuable?
sure. Yeah. Some wooden thing that's in the corner, half made, half whittled.
Yeah. I'll shoot at it, but not aim at it.
All right. What are you aiming at instead? Where are you aiming?
I just turn the opposite way and aim at whatever's the opposite.
Okay. Roll me a attack roll with your bow.
Oh God. Okay. 16?
16. Give me the damage, since you are going to destroy something.
7.
Yeah, the arrow flies across the room. You hit a glass. The glass shatters. There's nothing in it, but it's like a tumbler that you would drink from. Yinwode looks at you and says,
Ah, see, he sell to me. Arrow never miss. Look again, his twigs.
You want me to find him and kill him?
Yes. You do this
How
for
much money?
Yinwode.
How much will you pay me?
I give you this.
he hands you a little onyx dog figurine.
Okay. If I come across this goblin, I'll snap his neck for you.
Now, you have one small eye, one big.
Okay. Anything you want me to say or just...
You say, do you sell these to Yinwode? He say yes. And then you snap his neck like twig that he sell to Yinwode.
What if he says no?
Bring me all of his blood, as much as you can get.
So I kill
What
him
if
either
his-
way.
What of his brains? Do you need his brains?
I can eat brains, but you can eat brains if you like.
You do too?
Nah, brains delicacy. Very careful when you cook brain.
Okay.
Perhaps I can add some seasoning next time.
Nah.
Is there anything else you need?
When you see Coralston, you tell him Gasta Mori from Yinewood.
When I see... Yep. Gasamuri. Okay. Well, do you have any other questions, Murlin?
I have a question for the lizard. And Murlin immediately turns to the lizard on the wall.
Yeah.
Murlin hasn't spoken to another animal since he's passed, and he's wondering if his animal handling is well as good as it used to be.
Let's find out. What do you say first? As you speak with small beasts, one of your abilities as a gnome, forest gnome.
Are we still friends?
You say this to the lizard?
Yes.
All right, roll me an animal handling check. 9. The lizard does that thing where they lick their own eyeball, and then it chitters and snaps at you. While you don't really understand, you don't speak to them in the same way that a speak with animals spell would work. You do understand and generally can figure out kind of the thoughts and feelings of what this lizard thinks of you. This lizard absolutely hates you. He considers you to be a liar.
Murlin just kind of takes a deep sigh. And he then turns to Fire and he says, I've asked all the questions I need.
What did he say to you?
He didn't say a thing.
You look upset.
This lizard
I am upset.
you want to keep.
No, I really shouldn't. I had a pet newt once that I accidentally squished while I was asleep.
This lizard been follow me for all my life. He steal from me.
Well, I think they're great companions to have.
No. He's little shit. I call him Numpty.
Why don't you just...
Sure, you have your indifferences, but I'm sure he makes for great conversation.
He bites me when I am asleep.
Just squeeze him really hard.
Oh, that is mean. I would never kill such an innocent creature.
Bites you while you're asleep and... Okay.
Numpty is bastard.
Do you want me to do it?
No. You kill a goblin or Yinewood.
Mm-hmm. And what do I tell? I'm supposed to tell someone something?
Do not forget. You promise.
Mm-hmm. Did I? Okay.
Do you have barrel?
Huh?
Barrel for soup.
Darn it, I knew I forgot something.
We totally forgot.
Spaced it.
Both of you give me deception checks. 22 and a 21. He says,
Very well, you get barrel and come back for soup.
Okay.
he turns around.
Have you ever... Oh.
These. Look for these.
Okay.
Some of these in there.
Yeah. All right. I just start walking backwards, ducking down to get out the beats.
Then Murlin, before he leaves, he turns to look at the lizard and he winks at it. And then he leaves. He follows
I flip
Fire.
the wizard off.
Wizard.
The lizard. Not the wizard. I would never flip off this wizard.
I'm the wizard.
Yes, you head on out. Fire, you have an onyx dog and a cloak of protection now, which,
Okay.
if you want to add those to your inventory, you can. I'll put the wording for the cloak of protection, but it's a pretty famous item that you took. And you have an
I was given.
onyx dog figurine, statuette. And you have the molasses. Where are you headed next?
Well, I guess we would head back.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
got what we need.
Yeah. You start heading back south towards the little military encampment with your molasses, and we're gonna head back over to Will and Fix. Will, can you roll me? I forgot to write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A D9, please.
A 1.
It doesn't mean anything bad. It just depends on the effects that come with your armor. The
I'm just laughing because I've gone from 3 maximum possible rolls to a 1.
Yes.
Just the extremes today.
the very very old but enormously muscular woman introduces herself to you as Elise, Elys, and she after she's finished measuring you up and you are reclothed, she says,
Very well. Come back in the morning, then. You should be finished. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind getting some sleep. I don't sleep as well as I used to, but I'll finish it, let's say by midday.
Sounds perfect. Thank you for seeing to it quickly. Appreciate it.
Anything else? Perhaps that gauntlet on your arm there. Interesting.
What could you do with it?
Why is it that you wear just one?
It's the fashion over on my island.
Youngling, the old-fashioned. Oh, well, I was curious. I do enjoy fixing things that are broken. Look here, it's rather dented, and this is if you grip anything too hard, the 2 of the fingers are going to come loose and fall off soon enough.
Sure, how much to fix it?
Yeah, well, I don't mind giving it a little go. You've been so generous with your coin.
Okay. I sort of turn around and try and like take it off without anyone seeing anything.
I will I'll stand in the way basically and cover up what's going on here because I can pretty clearly see where this is going. And I'll hold out my hand like, give me the gauntlet, and I'll hand it over.
wonder what that would be. Let's see. You can have advantage on your, and I will let you roll me either an acrobatics or a performance check, I guess, since there's a dex based versus a how much you can hide well, I guess. It's stealth check is what I mean, not acrobatics, or a performance. And this is the woman's perception check. Beaten 8.
Does I have advantage?
You have advantage because Will is like clearly hiding you. She's like looking. You can tell that she's like trying to see, but like not being too overt about it. And you take the gauntlet off.
I'd like to think I have a second glove to match my other glove, sort of stored away in my bag somewhere. So
yeah, like a normal glove.
Yeah,
for your arm.
I just kind of like shove that on and like wrap my cloak around the rest of my arm and try and like conceal it as best I can.
This is fine craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's made by a friend of mine.
It upsets me to see something fall to ruin. You really should look after your things better.
Well, yep, you're not wrong there. Not much opportunity to when you're out and about, I suppose.
Absolute state of that shield of yours as well.
She gives you a, when like grandma's kind of disappointed in you look, Will. She says,
Well, perhaps one day you come back and I'll fix that up for you as well.
The reality is a lot of my armaments are well out of maintenance. That's true, but sadly there's only so much I'm thinking you can get done in one day's time.
Well,
maybe some other day for the shield.
Yes, well, don't forget when you come by tomorrow to bring me some cookies.
Cookies? Any particular kind?
Anything they're selling at the bakery.
All right, we can do that.
All right. Very well. That'll be all.
Have a good night now. Thank you.
Good night.
Take our leave.
you head on out. And where are you headed next?
I suppose I'd just stop by this bakery, see if I can find it, see if it's open at this hour, and if not, back to the wizard. Right? Unless you have anything you want to do?
No, I think that was it.
Give me an investigation check, Vic. 6. I can speak today really well.
Oh, nat 1 for a 5.
You guys wander around for a little while. You don't overtly... There's no bakery that stands out to you until eventually Will gives up and grabs someone. A frightened, drunken man with a vomit smell to his breath that wanders out of an
Why is everyone
alleyway.
frightened when I asked them for directions, Brad?
I want you to imagine what all of you guys look like wandering into this village after what you've been through so far in this campaign. You're also a big, scary man in armor with a sword and shield. And these are all like villagers.
The town has a
peasants.
military base here. I look just like all of them.
Yeah,
We're both
maybe.
over 6 foot tall, and also
You guys
probably
are
look
scary
really mean.
looking. Will, you literally came back to life a month ago. I know that no one knows that, but I feel like sometimes you'll be able to sense that with someone.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that when I say, hey, I'm gonna grab this guy and ask directions, I don't mean like grab them by
Oh,
the
that is
collar and
exactly what
yell
is
at
happening
them.
every time. You're like picking people up by like their head and just lifting them, their legs dangling cartoonishly below them.
bakery?
Yeah. Do you feel in charge? Bane wandering through the thing. Eventually, the man does let you know the location of the bakery, but it is closed. Too late
I suppose
for
we'll be back
bakery.
in the morning then.
Yeah, it's
Nice
probably for the
meal.
best anyway.
Nice.
Otherwise, they might be stale.
I suppose.
Come
The
back-
freshest
come back and-
cookies for release.
Right? I think bakers prep their stuff in the morning, right? Get the fresh stuff.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, well, that's a good point, I suppose. Right,
So,
okay.
We could head back to where we were before, I suppose. But do you know where Fire and Murlin ran off to?
At that moment, they walk in front of you.
Oh, they are. Oh, there. What? To the townspeople, but with every goblin,
back.
like lifting him up,
Yeah.
like,
We're back.
Yeah.
like lifting him
Uh,
up.
Yeah.
Guys.
we're back. We have returned. Sorry. for
We're
all
not
the
doing anything
audio
weird.
Chaos. What was the last thing that happened? Well, they all met up with each other.
We met.
Fire, wearing a new cloak, wanders over to the group, and I think that's it. Yeah, you don't have anything else crazy, no.
How do I look?
Fire, your cloak was already in the best condition of anyone in the group by far. Did you really need a new one?
It was a present. I couldn't say no.
Fair enough. You look stunning.
Thank
Did
you.
you find whatever you were looking for?
We did.
Uh-huh.
And Murlin shows off the bottle of molasses.
Oh, molasses.
Good job.
You know what molasses is?
Doesn't everybody?
Apparently not. I didn't know what it was.
I
to be
thought it was
fair.
a small creature, if I'm being honest. But well, I'm glad you knew what it was.
Oh, I don't know. Our we
Yeah,
had
I was-
it as like a dessert item when I was in the army.
I know, I was
Put it on.
taken aback. No one
Dessert
knew what
in the army?
molasses.
It's like food.
So my unit was kind of spoiled. We had our cook actually knew how to cook. Like a lot of those guys were just some kid that got drafted when they were young and they had no actual cooking experience, and they'd yell at him, "Hey, put the meat and the potatoes in that pot and water and warm it up and call it beef stew." But we had a guy that actually knew what he was doing, and he made this like molasses bread all the time. I just thought everyone knew what it was.
Well, maybe next time you should be awake. When we need to find some molasses.
Sure. In fact, I'll try to time my otherworldly visions more conveniently next.
Yeah, please do. We took care of you. So.
Put you by the nice warm fire and made sure you were safe.
I'll just put my hand on his cheek where I slapped it like a million times.
Ow. Careful. I think I landed on that side of my face.
Yeah, it
Well,
looks like it.
Actually, on the note that you're up and about again, Will, I may need to borrow your expertise on bringing in some light on this matter. And Murlin then shows off the scroll. It's in Sunscript, and I need to copy this.
Out here? Aren't we like in the street, or did we go back?
Yeah, I gotta get
you're
this back.
walking down towards the
Okay.
encampment.
Okay.
Right. This is my role now. I'm just a reading lantern. Fair enough. All right. There's like a dozen torches around here, Merlin. Is there?
No, this is
I'm confused.
Sunscript. Only sunlight.
Oh. I will just assume that's normal and pretend I know what you're talking about then. Sure. I don't know that the light that I can make is sunlight, though.
It's worth a try.
That's what I said.
All right, sure. Actually, I wonder. I'm gonna take the little sun medallion that I'm wearing, and I'm gonna cast the light on that instead, and try projecting that forward.
It works. The light that you cast allows you, Merlin, to see the script. In fact, you can all see the script, but it would just look probably not even like writing to you all. But you, Merlin, you understand what it is and can read the almost encoded wording. It does allow you to read it. You'll probably need to borrow the medallion, though.
By my beard, it works. I'm gonna need that for a while.
That is not happening. I will stand here till you're done.
Fine.
Uh-oh.
Be my lantern then.
I'll
borrow
I think
you
you'd
for
rather
a while.
give the medallion, Will. Actually, no. I like this arrangement better. You can be Merlin's personal lantern and follow Merlin wherever
How
they
long-
go.
Well, I'm assuming you need to sit down at a desk somewhere to copy out the scroll, so we're not going to be going anywhere, right? How long is it going to take?
It shouldn't take me too long. I'm actually
10
rather good at-
hours.
10 hours? I don't write that slow.
I was doing
well-
like a prank. Never. That's fine.
Okay. No, yes. I'm gonna
No,
need
the
you
real
to
prank. The real prank is the amount of dirt down the back of my armor from where you dragged me across the ground. It's been grating against me for the past hour and a half. I'm good on pranks.
I'm sorry. Next time you collapse in a doorway, I suppose we'll just leave you there then, shall we?
Yeah, next time I'll leave you. That's fine. Next time I'll take your armor off and your clothes, and I'll leave you that way so nothing gets in your armor.
If we're gonna start keeping score, so be it.
You started this.
I started. What do you mean I started this?
How
Merlin?
about thank you so much for dragging my heavy ass inside and not leaving me in the elements to suffer.
Right. And not putting you in a maid outfit.
And not putting you in a maid
what?
outfit. Nothing.
We're gonna put him in a maid outfit?
No, I don't.
Well,
Fire.
Anyway.
I picked you up and carried you away from a flaming demon fiend from hell, and this is the thanks I get. Ah!
I
Just
didn't do anything.
okay.
For the
hell,
record, I
Fitz?
think you would look great in a maid outfit.
Thank you, Merlin. I know I would.
That's how do you? It's,
One of the sleeveless ones.
you
All right,
know that you.
Let's
the
Okay.
beast in a maid outfit. Okay.
let's get that scroll done, shall we?
Right.
You should put
there's
on
no
a maid
time to
outfit
lose.
and clean your own armor. That's what you should do.
Well, as it so happens, I'm getting a brand new set of, well, new to me. We're getting new armor cleaned as we speak. But who knows? You know, if we find a maid outfit, maybe you could talk me into it later.
Okay.
Just completely sober? Or
He didn't specify, so.
he did not specify?
I heard him promise. Did you guys hear that? He
I'll
promised.
have you
I
know
did too.
that sober is the only state I can be in still.
Exactly. I was trying to put a
Do you know how
time
long?
frame.
Do you know how long that? Murlin, how many days left? How long am I stuck sober until that enchantment wears off?
I mean, I don't know.
You were the
Will.
one who told me in the first place. You said it was was it 16 days?
Did
Can't
I?
recall. I think so.
I can't
You
seem to
expected
recall
Murlin
either.
to keep track.
I don't know. It just feels like forever at this point.
Just try to get drunk every day until it works.
Excellent plan.
Mm-hmm.
This entire time, while everybody's been, chatting away, Merlin's also been jotting down in his spell book the scroll.
Are we still standing out on the street?
Yeah, you guys.
Yes.
So Merlin, this will take you 2 hours to do. So you're gonna have to. You're probably gonna want to head in and sit down at least, even with Lantern Will. We can assume that you guys head back to the clock tower. One of the recruits takes you to another area that they've cleared away. They've drawn a small bath and provided you with some soaps and said that you guys can rest and clean here. They also have set up 4 beds. They've essentially split part of one of the empty barracks, allowing you to stay here and sleep the night if you like. You also have access to the other room where there is a little bit of food and drink, and the tables at the bottom of the clock tower, while Merlin, Will, and Dawnwalker upstairs, I presume, work on the books. For the most part, Dawnwalker is coming back and forth. He's heading up and downstairs during the time that Merlin is, and you would probably have to concentrate. So this would probably be quite boring for you, Will. Essentially just sitting or standing around holding the medallion, or just sitting in a way that allows for the light to catch the sunscript. And Merlin, you begin to copy this spell into your book. Usually this would cost you money as well. You would have to spend the appropriate amount of money to do this, but because Dawnwalker has provided you with it seemingly free of charge, you are able to copy the spell slow into your spell book. And I'm going to see if I can drag it in for you onto your spells, and this will count as a known spell for you. Let me see what happens. Did it work? Are we here? No, give me 1 second. It's always really hard to do for me when I'm streaming because I have 700 things. There we go. So you have a level 3 spell now called Slow. It is a 3rd level transmutation spell. You'll need to keep the molasses on you. Whenever you cast this in some form, you're using molasses, but you don't have to announce that every single time. It's a concentration spell. You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be affected by this spell for the duration. An affected target's speed is halved, and it takes a -2 penalty to AC and Dex saving throws. And it can't use reactions. On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action, not both. Regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it can't make more than 1 melee or ranged attack during its turn. If the creature attempts to cast a spell with the casting time of 1 action, roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted. A creature affected by this spell makes another wisdom throw at the end of its turn. Saving throw at the end of its turn. I combined 2 words into one. On a successful save, the effect ends. So, this is why, and I think probably during this time, Dawnwalker seems to think that this would be potentially effective if you can get this to work on Arias. Whenever you end up facing Arias, he seems to believe that this would be very useful against him, and maybe the three of you discuss some small understanding of how the spell works. Of course, you have to get you got to get the spell off without it being counterspelled, and you've also got to he has to fail his wisdom saving throw. That being said, you now have the ability to use the spell slow. Now, you guys have the option to rest and take the evening to do your rests and things. I know you don't all necessarily need a full night's sleep, but those of you that do need night's sleep, a town night's sleep is available to you for the evening during this time or after Murlin is finished with the spells and learnings and things.
I would, before we do that, I want to bring up again the fact that we now know that Murlin is carrying a staff that could potentially be used to track us.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, if you want to have another meeting and discuss what you guys are planning on doing next before you rest, or maybe this is, just over the course of the time of the evening. But at least 2 hours have passed in which Murlin, for the most part, you're completely out of it. You have to really concentrate on making sure that you get this correctly into the book. So 2 hours later, you're looking at, let's see, it would be about midnight now. And it's up to you what you guys end up doing tomorrow. Guinness did say that at daylight, he was heading to Kira. If I bring you over to the map again. He did say that he was heading to Kira, and you're welcome to join him. Obviously, you get paid for the journey in the same way that you did here. Alternatively, you guys could head back up to Cole. You guys were considering investigating where the watchtower was, or you can head out on the road yourselves, following the hexes, and head over to Gofreda, Gore's Point, maybe out to where the tower is, or find the ship, which is somewhere around these hexes, last that you knew, or come up with some alternative plan, something like, I don't know, kill Arias. Those were the kind of options that you were considering, but I don't know if any of you settled on them. So I think after about 2 hours, everybody yawning and preparing for bed, you each meet in the privacy of that barrack to discuss what your plans are tomorrow, after, of course, you've picked up the armor and all that business.
Yeah, as soon as Murlin's done copying his spell, during which time I will pretty much just sit there and watch the entire time. Just be a lantern and not really say much. But as soon as he's done, I'll bring up the staff. Murlin.
Yeah,
do you recall what the
closes
other...
his spellbook.
You
Yes,
get it? Figured out?
I got it. Thank you for your services. I don't have to pay for that, do I?
We'll call it even for frying those orcs that tried to jump us on the road.
No, I won't say no to a freebie.
That staff you're carrying, you recall what Dawnwalker said?
Not entirely.
That it could potentially be located by its owner, or its previous owner.
Oh, I thought he meant in the regard that it was, incredibly powerful, to which it is. Are you suggesting that I part ways with it?
I am suggesting that you are effectively a beacon while you carry it. If what he said is accurate, then Arias knows where we are based on the virtue of you carrying it.
Well, considering we've already spent this much time here, I would already assume he would know that we're here in Jairus.
Let's work with that assumption then, that our whereabouts are known. However, do you think it's wise to keep carrying it with us?
Probably
Listen, I'm going to be
not.
honest with you. That thing has freaked me out since you got it. That magic that it does is foul.
I will admit that I myself don't usually cast this type of magic, but it has proven to be useful, especially in very desperate times. However,
Right.
if you feel it is best, we leave it somewhere. I will do just
I think
that.
if I were in a war, poisoning the enemy's water supply would kill most of them and probably all the civilians in the area. It's effective. Is that really the kind of thing you want to do?
No.
I feel the same about that stuff. If I'm being truthful, I do not like the foul necromantic energy that it's been spitting out. It's wrong. I was willing to put it aside because, as you said, it's helpful, it's effective, but that on top of the fact that it could potentially lead to us getting tracked, I think you should get rid of it.
But even before it became in my possession, he had no trouble finding us. Who's to say he doesn't have other means?
I'm not going to tell you what to do, Murlin. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it. If you want to keep using it, then do it.
As am I. I'm just shedding some light into the subject. The only reason that I might be suggesting that I hold on to it a little bit longer is because, well, I feel I have perhaps, I mean, sure, I can get a hold of Arias this way. I can communicate with him, but I feel that there is another connection that I wish to maybe. It's something I feel I need to look more into myself. But I will not withhold anything from you or the others once I discover.
Do what you think is best.
Rest assured, though, I will not be holding on to it for that much longer.
Right. Oh. Yeah. Do what you think is wise. Like I said, just, I mean, you know, I don't want to use the word. I almost said be careful what powers you're toying with, but I think you know full well it's not a toy. So...
Oh, no. This is not just some staff. I'm aware.
Just be careful, Murlin.
I
For your
will.
sake and for ours.
Of course. I put you guys first.
Have you had any of the same headaches since you were how did Fire put it, differently alived now?
I can't say that I have. I think so long as my well, how do I put it? Considering I am now undead, so long as my tastes for brains are sated, I think I, well, should do just fine.
Sentences like that, Murlin, remind me what a tragic comedy my life has become. Let's find the others. Get some rest, I
Agreed.
suppose.
We could use some rest.
We'll go look for the other two.
Yeah, I think you can probably find each other. Again, there's an area of the barracks that is completely empty with 4 beds that have been set up for you each to stay in. Maybe the other 2 are in there preparing.
I think I'd be taking a bath.
Okay. There's also a
Fancy
bath
soaps.
there. Fixes in there. Fancy soaps. Does anything happen to the water when your arm is in the bath?
I was wondering the same thing. I would.
You tell me.
I would usually bathe with it out of the water, just like up on the side.
Does it
yeah, I
freeze
assume-
the water if you're...
I don't think it freezes it, but I think it makes it go cold very,
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah, that's no fun.
So I'd usually, have one arm up on the side and then just be kind of like
Yeah, 4 beds
one-handed.
in one side of a pretty large barrack, but a large kind of open and plain-looking room, with a bath, which is just a tub, a wooden tub with hot water in it, fixed with an icy arm hanging out of one side. Fire sitting on a bed. You doing anything with this onyx statue by any chance?
Yeah, I was actually going to say that I probably have it out on the bed, just like...
I'm an investigation check.
And also I want to use my old cloak to hang up around the tub and just kind of block the view.
6. Yeah, it's just a statue. It doesn't do anything special.
Yeah. Oh, it does something special.
Yeah, you're playing with it like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
When Murlin and Will, you enter.
If they're in like a bathhouse room, I probably wouldn't enter at that point. Just wait outside.
Oh, I assumed it's all in one room. Everything.
Oh, it's all the same room? Well,
Yeah.
what was that?
It's a dog.
There's no dog in here.
I hold it up.
Oh, is that what that noise
There's
was all
the
this time?
dog.
You thought it was a real dog? Was I that convincing?
What?
I wouldn't go that far. I thought you might be sick, actually.
Fire, what kind of adventure did you have today that... I saw the new cloak. You've picked up a new pet too?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
I haven't thought of one yet.
I am deeply disappointed.
Black Dog was the first thing that came to mind, and that is unimaginative, and I will not.
It's right to the point. There's that.
Yeah. Onyx. It's made of onyx, so kind of.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were naming it Onyx. You know, that
I can
works
name
too.
it Onyx, but it's made of onyx. It's like calling.
Wait,
Isn't
isn't
it
Onyx
statue?
Isn't
Why are
Onyx
you
a
naming
valuable
a statue?
gemstone?
I told you I got presents today, and nobody seemed interested, so
You just
your
hear me
loss.
yelling from behind this cloak. By the way, it's just, you don't see me. I'm just behind this cloak in the bathtub. You hear
I
like
got this
splashing
cloak.
water.
And I got this dog from the toad guy.
The great alchemist, Yinwode,
The toad.
the toad. What? He wasn't a toad?
I don't know.
So, why did he give you those things?
He did have a lizard, though.
I think he liked me.
Right. The charisma, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very charismatic and friendly, warm,
Yes.
approachable.
Those are all words I would definitely use to describe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually think that those things were for someone else, but, well, I mean...
Right, there we go.
Someone-
That's what I was expecting right there.
From my tree, probably.
They're lost. They weren't there.
Yeah, he handed them to me. Well, the cloak he handed to me,
He
and
pretty much just handed it over to Fires.
Sorry,
I
are you
didn't say
saying
anything.
he's expecting
dog-
someone from your tree to come by and collect these things? And you just...
no. The dog was really a gift.
Right.
For a
Fix,
favor.
is this what happened in Psalms Point too?
When?
The money that was totally handed over
Oh,
willingly
the
in
money.
Psalms Point, is this the same?
Well, that was a negotiation of types. You didn't negotiate this, did you, Fire? This was
Mm-mm.
gift.
It was a
Right.
gift.
Right. Interesting.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
really can't let you out of my sight for more than 10 minutes.
Why? Because I get amazing things gifted to me. I will not apologize for that. I can't help
Gift.
that I'm so charming.
Right. Gifted.
I will leave the bath and sort of like dress myself and join you all in the main area. Bath's still warm. If anybody's.
Look down at Fix's arm. Is it?
Oh, it is. I don't. Well, I've had many years now with this thing, and I know that as long as it doesn't touch the water, it's usually all right.
Okay. I haven't had a proper bath in ages, so I'm gonna go
There's
use
some really
it
nice
as well.
soaps. Lavender. There's one that smells like
Wait,
blueberry.
What? Why do they have all these fancy soaps and whatever this is?
I
Is
was
this
wondering the same
perfume?
thing.
I thought this was just like 5 guys camped out in a back alley military base. Where did they get this stuff?
Don't question it. Just take advantage.
Oh, I absolutely am.
Yeah, please. That troll armor is starting to really, really rub off on you.
I think
Okay.
it might be me. I'm starting to decay. I need a bath.
Huh?
Are you sure you don't have something horrid on you, Fix? Because that troll armor, I've had it for exactly 1 day and I've not even worn it.
Yeah,
can't
but it's
smell
the smell
that.
that lingers.
Well, it's a
Like-
good thing it's not here in the building with us anymore then.
Yeah, well, it's definitely decreased its potency, that's for sure. Merlin, you smell fine. Right, Fire?
You
You smell
smell-
fine.
You smell so fine.
You know, maybe on our travels we should collect some flowers, some wildflowers, and we can make some nice little pouches for you.
And some brain.
And some brain, yes.
No, you guys are just saying that because you're my friends. I know when I'm decaying. I know
I'd
when
like
I
to smell
bad.
Murlin.
That is a perception check.
I want to
Oh
smell
no.
Murlin.
Where do you think you're decaying? Let me take a look.
Oh boy. Well,
You can smell whatever you want to smell on Merlin. If you are decaying Merlin, then let me know where and how it smells.
well, I guess maybe around the arms it would start to show that perhaps there's there's like this grayish green color, like almost like his arms look kind of like a bit bruised. There's no blood obviously running through his veins anymore, right? So yeah, I would imagine maybe his fingernails. He looks like he could go for a manicure as well.
Oh, yeah. I have. Fix. It's not the troll armor.
Oh, is that... No,
You're
no,
fine.
it's
It's
very
me.
distinct
It's fine.
smell.
It's
no,
me.
it's not. It's a very distinct smell, Merlin. It's not you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's definitely not you, Merlin.
Well, can you describe? I don't really know what this smell is, but it smells bad.
Have you ever smelled a wet kobold?
A wet what?
A kobold. A kind of fur, maybe dog, maybe a wet dog.
Oh, I smell like a wet dog.
Well, it's kind of a hint of that with some like a metallic sort of tang
Yeah.
Oh,
to it.
Very,
I mean, it's not
very
terrible.
much.
oh yeah. I
Really?
guess it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's just like any wet dog that's
Right.
been dead in the sun for a week.
Will gave me a different impression. His face just screamed like, "Get him a bath."
Well, maybe Will should follow his own advice and get in the bath.
Yeah,
I am
maybe
in the bath.
You're in the bath?
How are you smelling Merlin if you're in the bath?
Does he smell that bad?
I can smell it
across
from
the room.
here.
I smell
I
that
can
bad.
smell it from here. It's that
Merlin
bad.
Merlin goes in to join Will.
Oh.
Oh my.
Make some room. I'm coming in.
I'm not shy. I did this every day for 6 years.
I wonder if
Just
there's
as
a
a
way
hobby.
to preserve.
Except
them
we didn't
or
have
something.
this fancy lavender flower scented stuff. I'd love to know where they got it and how come we didn't get any of it back when I was up in Laurel.
Hey, Fix. You should sneak up and dunk your arm in there at some point.
Well, maybe. Have you had a bath yet? Are you going to take one?
Do I need one?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
You smell delightful
I have a new cloak.
after 2 weeks of traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't want to get in with
yeah,
them.
I mean, why not?
Is there room for me?
How big was the tub?
What do you consider to be room?
Can I be fully submerged?
In the tub with Will?
I don't think so. also.
Will is is a relatively large
giant.
man. So I would imagine not.
Yeah, there's not room.
There's hardly any room for
Witcher
me in
3
here.
Geralt? Like,
I think it's probably smaller than that. You know, it's even smaller than one of those
Okay.
cubs. But yes, that's probably what we're seeing with Will here. yeah.
I'll walk over and like grab a perfume and just like pull my shirt and just start like spritzing, open my pants, spray down my pants. Done.
But I
Wait,
mean,
I thought you already took a bath, did you not?
Listen, just shh. And I'll just
You know,
walk back over to Fix.
the more I think about it, the more I think maybe dunking my arm into a bath with Will and Murlin might be slightly strange.
Yeah, I meant to make it cold.
Well, I
not-
know
what
what
did
I
you
know what you
think I
meant.
was saying?
You're right. I read into that.
And you
way
told
too
me
much.
to get in.
Well,
And you think it's weird to put an arm in?
okay. Well, point made. I'll let them bathe for a little bit first. Yeah, it's been a long 2 weeks.
The bathing conversation goes on for a really long time. Did you want to do long rests? Did you want to discuss what you're going to do next? Do you
I don't
come up
really
with
need a long rest personally, but
No? Well, you need to sleep, otherwise you
Yeah, I
will
guess.
ultimately
Yeah.
suffer exhaustions. So it doesn't have to be a mechanical long rest, other than,
Yeah.
but you do. Essentially, I
Kinda.
am sort of mentally logging when you rest properly.
Yeah.
Because you guys spend a lot of time on the road and things like that, which is fine, but see, the sleep is different from a long rest to a degree.
I mean, I think we were going to end up taking a long rest regardless, just by virtue of the fact that
You will,
you know?
yeah. You kind of already
Yeah.
have done a long rest, because you haven't really done anything like arduous. So really, are you sleeping or resting appropriately? Those that are non-sleepers,
I
I'm
would
meditating
assume we are,
appropriately.
yeah.
unless you are put to sleep by biological spores,
Biological.
which are biological,
Non-magical.
non-magical spores from a
Spores that
biological
occur in
creature
nature.
that are natural,
Natural
like
in
the
nature
alcohol.
occurring.
that can put elves to sleep,
Because
and also definitely alcohol.
they're natural. They occur in
clarified
nature.
Resting, sleeping.
All right, I'll sleep.
Yeah. I just check everyone is
Yes.
getting rest and
Yes.
sleep and probably bathing. So fire is anyone that doesn't bathe.
I guess so.
I
I
If-
don't know
if
if we
she-
need to know this information, but if we do need to know it, it's important to find out now, just in
if
case.
Fix does not do the prank with the making the water cold, if the water's still warm, then I will take a bath.
Okay. It's
We'll
just
get last dibs.
at some point, I'm wondering whether you're going to encounter like a wolf and it's just going to smell you, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll take a bath and I'll do all this
Yeah.
special fancy
I-
soaps
I
and
just-
everything.
I fall
and-
asleep before
Oh.
they finish, so
I want
I
to
don't
point
problem.
out that Fire is now getting in the tub after 2 dead men.
You know, I thought about that. And is there
I
I'm
think
not
I
gonna
bathed
do-
first.
I'm not gonna do a check to see whether there's like a floating piece of
Fire,
Murlin.
you finish your bath, and the other 3 probably by this point are asleep. I can't remember if Merlin needs sleep. Did we? Let me double check. What Merlin does? Merlin just sit with his eyes open now?
He probably sleeps like a mummy.
Oh, you
he's
do need
just
your
got his
muscles
eyes
require.
wide open.
Yeah, you do require rest in your muscles.
Yes.
To stave off exhaustion. So, you can sleep if you want. It's up to
I
you.
will sleep.
Yeah.
I'll catch up on my
We'll
beauty
roll that
sleep.
you can sleep. Will's probably asleep. And Fire, you finish the bath. A little while later, you encounter Private Wayne, who asks whether you want fresh water if somebody else wants a bath. And I assume you say no thank you, and then pretend that you all didn't use the same bath water and could easily
We're all
just
set.
ask one of the other guys to bring you some more. Didn't even question.
We're all
it.
set on that.
And then you go to sleep or meditate through the evening.
It may not be super impactful at this point, but I will also note that I'm not actively hiding the giant death wound on my chest anymore. So Murlin and Fire will see it now for the first time, which might be a bit, a bit of a shock or glaring because it's clearly a very lethal, like deep carve wound.
Oh
right
yeah,
in the middle
no,
of
it's very
sternum.
in your face.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Merlin would have, and Will would have spoken about it. Yeah.
Want some fan art of sleeping Will with Fire just staring at the wound in his chest as she
Like
creeps
the
around
giant
entirely
anime
silently.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like, God.
The next morning rolls around after you guys have had an actual decent night's rest and have been able to wash some of the dirt and blood and everything that you've accumulated over the past probably week or so since the last time you were able to properly wash in a tavern. Don't even know when it was. Maybe the last time you actually stayed at the tavern in Cole, which was a little while ago. Because at some point the tavern had been converted into a sort of refuge. So the next morning there is a knock at the door, whether you guys are awake or not. There is a knock, the door opens, and you see the person that you recognize to be Private Wayne say, "All right, I got a message for you. One of yous is known as the Beast, right?
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
Right, which one's the
Yes.
Beast?
That
The
one?
strong one over there, pointing at Merlin.
All right, all right.
Oh, B.
All right, Mr. Beast. Okay, so I've got a message here for you from Guinness. Says if you want to come with him, it's leaving at 11, and that's in 3 hours.
Understood.
Meet you by the
Thank
front
you.
gate, he said.
All right, front gate. Okay, 3 hours.
All
Got
right.
it.
You lot need anything else?
Food? Any breakfast food?
Dawnwalker says I'm supposed to get you what you want.
Oh, anything?
Oh.
What do you mean anything? Probably not anything. It's not like I'm going to be able to bring you a dragon's head.
That's exactly what I wanted, so thanks
I
for
can't do
ruining my
that.
morning.
Brains?
I meant like food. I'll get you some water. We got the nice water. We got the good stuff.
Yep. All right, we'll take some water, please.
Water. You want food?
Wayne,
Yeah.
Wayne,
Hey.
can you get me a bar of that fancy flowery soap?
Bar of that soap. Yeah? Hey, I can do
Can I
that.
have- Do you have extra perfume?
Perfume. No, I don't have it, but I can see if Dawnwalker can get you some. He's got all sorts stashed away.
Ooh,
All
we're
right,
gonna
okay.
smell so good.
Just some food, please. I don't know, porridge or something. I don't know.
All right, porridge, all four of you.
And I'll have some brains.
All right, brains. Wait, what?
He's kidding.
Yeah.
He's kidding.
Well,
Yeah, I
Izzy,
don't know if I can get you brains. All right,
Well,
porridge and perfume coming up. I'll go get that for you right now. He heads out.
thank you.
We'll
Was that
get
too
you
much?
something. We'll get you something edible, Merlin. But I think maybe we should keep your current status just between us and Dawnwalker. Yeah.
Well, the alchemist that Fire and I met with the other day, apparently it's a delicacy for him too. He eats brains as well.
Hmm.
Right.
I'm sorry. Who?
And he made tomato soup, and he gave me
Yes.
a dog and a cloak and the cloak.
You didn't happen to fall over and then wake up after this happened, did you? You know, almost like a dream.
No.
Because
No.
it almost sounds like a strange. Okay. Well, what should we do with ourselves? What time is the armor ready?
Well, she said about midday, which, if we want to take his offer, we need to be ready to go at 11. Maybe we could convince him to stall for an hour if she's not finished yet.
Right.
But I think the real question is, do we want to head south?
Yeah. Let's go to
I,
Kira.
for a while, after I had that vision, I thought I was being compelled or called back to the watchtower northeast of here. Maybe there'd be some answers there, but now that I can sort of remember it, I think it was just a stopgap to heading somewhere more important. I don't think there's any real reason to go anymore.
You don't want to go to the watchtower.
I don't see why. Now that I know why I was there, he was there, Eldrin was there.
Alright.
It was just shelter to get away from some flying predators. There was no real compelling reason to go. So I don't know why we would need to either.
There is a compelling reason to go to Kira.
You think we should go to Dandalo?
Gold? I was gonna say gold. That's
What was in
compelling.
Kira?
At least you're consistent, Fire. I'll give you that.
What was in Kira again? I don't recall.
Nothing's in Kira. That's just where Guinness is going, but it's close to
Right.
Dandalo.
Yeah.
It's quite close to Dandalo, which means if we swung a little bit out of our way, we could go visit it and see what...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know his name, but the fellow who was lost under Dandalo, we could go try and investigate and see what happened to him.
Yeah. Wonder what under
Which-
Dandalo means. I guess we'll find
I
out.
don't know.
Okay, so we can go to Kira. Or we can possibly continue to Gore's Point.
That's
I
the
suppose
only
we
other
could go
option.
to Kira either way if we're going to Gore's Point.
It's not entirely out of... Yeah, it's not necessarily out of the way. I guess it's just a very minor detour if we're going to head east anyway and end up at Gore's Point or Gerfreda.
A lot of
We would just go
forests, though,
south.
if I recall.
Yeah,
Between Kira
well,
and Gore's Point. Okay.
as long as we don't have any angry elves jump us in the woods on the way there, I think we should be fine.
Right.
All right. You lot decent. Can I come in?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Porridge. Look at that.
Good job.
Aye. Aye, there's some porridge for you. Porridge for you. And the beast don't want none, no.
No.
All right. Well, here you
I'll
go. There's a
pass.
bar of that there soap.
Ah. Look at that.
Aye. All right.
Excellent.
Dawnwalker's gonna bring you some perfume in a minute.
Okay.
All
The man
right.
himself.
You want anything else or?
Mm.
You don't have any spare, I don't know, healing potions, do you?
Spare
Okay.
healing potions? What you think they grow on trees?
Well, they might do here.
They kind of do, the ingredients.
Do they?
Some-
What is it anyway?
Merlin?
Sorry, the beast?
Oh,
Uh,
well,
Beastie Boy?
I know how to make them. Yes, I do. I
See?
do. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Look at that.
Mm,
All right then. Well, yous have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
Oh,
Thanks, Wayne.
bye.
There's a moment of movement outside before the door creaks open again, and Dawnwalker steps in. He's kind of he's changed his outfit, but it's very similar to what he was wearing yesterday, a kind of formal military dress. He has that long grey hair, which yesterday was loose, but today is pulled into a kind of a rough ponytail. And under one arm is the book that I presume you would have returned to him. And he says, as he steps in, perfume.
Thank you.
Well, I have to get to today's training with the men, but I wondered whether you would be staying or leaving Jairus.
I think it's time for us to get back on the road. Coming here was... Well, we came here to try and get information, but I feel like we've ended up with more questions than answers. But
Well, you have been
it was
very
worth
useful
it.
to me.
Right. It was worth it, at least, that I could make a report officially.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And Merlin.
regardless... Sorry, go ahead, Fire.
Yes. Thank you for
Merlin
the spells.
learned something, and
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
loved it here. I have perfume now. Got the cloak and the dog.
Yes. Well,
Got new
if
spells, new clothes, new armor. It was a worthwhile trip, I suppose. And regardless what happens to the four of us, hopefully the information we brought you will be useful. In the event that we're not successful, hopefully you can get the army mobilized and shut down Arias and his schemes the old-fashioned way.
Yes, I shall not be able to hold on to the information much longer, so I will be reporting to my superiors soon enough. However, if you need to get in contact with me, then we have members of the Guardian Army stationed at Merrin's Keep. There's a small castle at Kira. We have birds, pigeons, and magical means, should we need them, to send messages amongst ourselves. If you need to get contact to me, then make sure you do so. Any information is extremely useful. And I wanted to wish you good luck personally. See if you can take that bastard down.
We'll try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And information on the Leon Viperum would be extremely useful for us too, if we are to mount an assault on a ship or anywhere that they are stationed.
If we find that they've put to shore somewhere, and they're in a place where you can reach them, I'll make sure we send word. But as of right now, last to my knowledge, they're still out at sea. Pinpointing their location would be kind of difficult.
Well, don't forget that there is a great deal of coin on Arias's head. Make sure that you report that to me. Some of the other commanders will certainly, well, they'll probably try and finagle you out of that. Claim it as their own kill.
You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I shall
She'll
make sure
follow
that
him to
you
the
are.
ends of the earth. No problem.
Yeah, I'd rather die.
Well, regardless of whether you get them or we do, I shall make sure that you're all rewarded at the end.
Thank you.
Very well. Very good to meet you all. And,
Murlin, what are you doing with the staff? Are you keeping it or leaving it here?
I'm gonna hold on to it for a little bit longer.
ideally you don't leave it here.
Why not?
Well, frankly, I don't want Arias and the Leon Viperum showing up. There are good people in this town. I intend to keep it safe.
Agreed. No, if we were to leave it somewhere, we would leave it somewhere outside the city
Just be on
and
your
away
guard.
from others. Or at all
If
times.
he is tracking this, then he will know we've been here.
Yes, well, he has other means of tracking you, you know. It's just that that is a very particular object. It shouldn't be difficult for him to find.
What do you mean by
my
other
thoughts
means?
the same.
There are spells that allow us to find particular objects or people. The more familiar he is with the object or the person, the easier it is for him to find it, you see.
Right.
Well then, I shall let you be on your way. And, yes, if you need to, please, you may call me Thane instead of Dawnwalker.
Thane. Well, thank you again for all your help.
Yeah, well, don't go sharing that name with just anybody. I must away to my duties. Good luck. I hope to hear from you all with positive news.
I hope to deliver some.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
And hopefully
Good day.
we cross paths again soon.
He steps out.
I like Dawnwalker better. Dawnwalker is such a cool name.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah. I would never tell anyone any other name.
Right, so we have armor to pick up at midday. We have cookies to pick up as well. Right, well, so
Yes.
perhaps...
Cookies.
Cookies.
Listen, among our growing list of priorities, we have to keep the cookie shopping near the top. For our own
Okay.
sanity's sake.
I'd quite like a cookie.
So armor, cookie,
Cookie
then we hit
armor.
the road?
We should speak with Guinness first, though, if he plans to leave before the armor's ready.
Guinness, cookie, armor,
Right.
Kira.
Right.
With
Got it.
the with the tower, at least I personally don't see it as a priority anymore. And with that out of the way, I don't see any reason why we couldn't take Guinness up on his offer and head down to Kira. It's sort of on the way. It won't slow us down much. So what say you? We take him up on his offer, go down there, investigate Dandelo, and then east?
Yeah.
If that's what you really want to do, I will go along with that. For your sake.
Sounds like our best bet, I suppose.
Fire, you're so consistent about the gold lust.
Mm-hmm.
I almost believe it.
And that is where we're going to end our session today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching.
I love that we're
watches.
going to get cookies.
Next week, Guinness cookie. Hang on, next week, Guinness cookies, armor, Kira is what I've got written down.
Yep.
See how that worked out for you. Then, a little bit over time again. Sorry, I blame
It's okay.
Murlin. Sorry,
Excuse me.
you spoiled the tomato soup.
Oh,
Man,
Spoiled.
I didn't
Out.
know. I didn't know it was tomato
Let's
soup.
skip town and hope that he's not wandering around looking for you.
We need to dip with that cloak of protection before.
I can't wait to get tracked down for this shit that I stole.
Cloak of protection acquired. Useless figurine of a dog acquired. Slow spell acquired. Next week, cookies, armor, and maybe some more gold since you will be working for Guinness once again and heading south, sort of due southeast for the newest town in existence in the Dark Realm, Kira. So
We have to wait till next week for me to figure out what this wolf enchanted.
yeah, what
armor
really
is,
sucks
Brad.
is that because we went a little bit over, that's where we ended the session. But I know what it does. I worked it out. You rolled for it, but
Did the
We'll find out next week.
D100 roll ever? Did the D100 roll ever get used?
the D100 roll was actually for a potential random encounter in the streets that I rolled for secretly, and hysterically, this is what it does. So I found it's a random quick city encounters just should you run into stuff, because I thought it would be fun to roll random encounters in town that are potentially harmless. But this one is that it's that time of year when the local black toads wander to their birthplace, a nearby lake, to lay their eggs. Millions of toads are filling the streets, but it didn't happen.
That would have been hilarious
I
because
know,
I've been walking
yeah.
around saying ribbit
Yeah.
all day.
All right, and it was so perfectly on theme. But
Yeah.
the thing with that is that if you guys, the random encounters in the town and stuff are for when you run out of stuff to do, which you didn't.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really resort to it. I rolled one dice to see if it would happen when Fix and Will left first, after you guys rolled to determine whether you would run into each other. But I rolled a 1, so it was like, well, probably that doesn't happen then, even though that would have extended the episode time into next week. So let's do a quick round of shout outs where people can find you during the week, what you're up to. Next week, back on the road with Guinness after some cookies and armor. So tune in for that. Viewers, let's do some shout outs. Let's start with the slowly rotting but becoming unbelievably powerful wizard Murlin. Who are you really
Hello.
under that
Hi.
mask?
I'm Dispy. I played Murlin for you today. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. I am on Twitch and Twitter at DispyRx, and I play video games. Thanks for today, everyone.
Yeah. What about you, Bri?
Hi, I'm Bri. You can find me everywhere at Brutal Bri. I do stuff.
That's a great shout out. What about
Thank
you, Leah?
Hi. You know what? I just got a bunch of cookie making stuff before the episode as well. So,
You have to bring a real cookie to next.
Yes, you have to bring cookies.
Everyone has to bring a real cookie next week so that you can be eating cookies. That's the rule.
I'm going to eat them all episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello, my name is Leah.
That includes you, viewers.
Yeah, everybody has
Or
to bring
else.
cookies.
Or else.
Or else we die.
Yep. Or else
might die
for
anyway.
everyone in the chat that doesn't bring a cookie, everyone here gets -1 AC permanently.
Please don't. My AC is rubbish.
That's devastating.
We feel like
Me and
negative.
Marlon, like.
We feel the negatives.
Like negative 400.
Oh God.
Okay, yeah. Go on, Leah. What were you saying?
Nothing important. Twitch.tv/Leah.
There it is.
Hey.
Okay, you can tune into Leah's channel for Mistlight After Dusk as well, because she'll be breaking down exactly what
No, not
type of
tomorrow.
cookie. Oh yeah, no, you're not doing it tomorrow. There is no Mistlight After Dusk, so just go make some cookies
Sorry.
in the time you would normally be watching it. That is a good.
She has to
point.
make
We should have-
cookies tomorrow.
She's making cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I am doing now. Yeah.
And what about you, Fairlight?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/Fairlight_Excalibur. I play Will here on Mistlight. And man, it's good to be back on Table Story. This is way too much fun. This is the highlight of my week. Had a lot of fun. You can find me over there playing stuff and things, whatever I want really, every night. Lately, killing the time till New World, playing Dead by Daylight lately.
Nice. All right. Make sure that you check out all the other shows that we've got going on Table Story. We have Rime of the Frost Maiden on Fridays, which is tomorrow night at 10, which is 5 Eastern, 10 UK time. Is that right? At the moment, there is Root, the finale of Root, on Saturday, which is on at midnight Saturday. Are you enjoying that, Leah? You're in that?
It's so much fun. It's chaos.
And that would be, what would that be? 7 Eastern is Root, and all the other wonderful shows every night. Basically, we're running shows all the time at the moment. I'm not exhausted. You are.
Go check out
and
Brad.
I
You should check out
am
Brad too, guys.
streaming sometimes on my channel. I'm playing. I invented a board game in 1999 with my friend in math class called Battle Castle, which instead of learning maths, which is why I can't do any of the simple maths here in D&D, we were using the graph paper to make up a stupid game and played that instead. It was fun, where you had a castle and a tank and soldiers and a sniper, and you rolled dice to determine what happened. And we didn't learn maths, but we did invent a game. In 2014, we made it for funsies in real. And then here again, 2021, I made it in Tabletop Simulator, and we've been playing that. Kind of play testing it. I've got a few people play testing that. Are you still in it, Leah? What was the where are you? You're in it, right? You're in the semi-finals.
Playing against Dave.
Semi-finals against Dave. But if you want to watch that, it's been very fun. We do have I've been playing that every day. So over the weekend, if you want to watch some Battle Castle, it's been fun messing around with that. And that's pretty much all I'm doing at the weekend. So you can tune into my channel for that if you want. Otherwise, we will simply see you next Thursday. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in a week. Thanks. Peace.
Bye. Bring your cookies next
Bring
week.
cookies.
Molasses cookies.
Molasses
Molasses cookies. Woo!